Tonight's pregame is brought to you by North Motorsports, the area's only full-line dealer of Honda, Can-Am, Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Snapper outdoor products. From their friendly sales staff to their certified service technicians, they've got you covered. Visit North Motorsports at 3711 10th Street in Menominee, or give them a call at 906-863-5592. That's 906-863-5592. Also, Kane Chevrolet, driving the game to you, is the #1 truck destination north of Green Bay. Kane Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, O'Connell, and Marinette. Freedom won the coin toss, and they will receive, so they'll be starting on offense. That's not a bad thing, I think, with Marinette, especially talking about starting on time, and the offense has had trouble starting on time. So get your defense out there, get hit a little bit and get into the flow of the game.
There's a lot of coaches, it seems like nowadays, that like to they prefer to start on defense, even if you win the coin toss, you like to defer to the second half. So it makes sense in a lot of ways. And of course, Marinette didn't win the coin toss, so they're on defense because they're forced to be there. But as long as you're there, why not get a stop and get your offense on the field? So we'll see how that goes. I see Marinette offense being introduced, and I understand our halftime guest is going to be one of the old linemen, huh?
That's right. I had a chance to talk to Zach May, and he was a real interesting character. He, again, told me one of their nicknames. I was telling you earlier that all these kids have nicknames with the man on the end of them, and I'm wondering when you and I, being honorary members of this team, when are we going to get our nicknames? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to know.
So make sure you're listening at halftime. You find out Zach May's nickname. It's pretty interesting.
By the way, beautiful sky here tonight as darkness starts to come upon us here in this first Friday night here in. The final Friday night in September, and there was almost like a flyover here at Higley Stadium earlier this evening. As there's a senior, I didn't catch the name, but there's a senior at Marinette High School who has his pilot's license, and he actually did a bit of a flyover. Now, of course, you can't get as close as Lambeau Field due to restrictions with the FAA. So at any rate, he got a huge round of applause, and you could hear I think it was some kind of a Cessna, whatever, up in the sky, and kudos to him.
That's right, he buzzed our tower. I could feel it. It's parent night. There's a lot of purple here, and the sky is beautiful right now. The sunset looks amazing. I mean, what's better than this for you and I? I mean, you can't beat doing this, right? This is amazing.
Well, and what's better? How about an upset victory by the Marines? Let's see what's in the cards. We'll see.
Marinette will be kicking to start this game. They'll be kicking from right to left on your Sports Radio 570 radio dial. And they're in those brand new home uniforms, gray pants, gray jerseys with purple numbers trimmed in white with purple helmets. Freedom. White jerseys, white pants, trimmed in green with green numbers and green helmets. And here we go, the kick to the 20-yard line. They take it and they cut to the middle of the field. Nice return all the way up to the 37-yard line. And that's where the Irish will start this game. First down and 10 from the 37-yard line. Freedom will be traveling left to right on your Sports Radio 570 radio dial. Let's see if Connor Nelson can make his presence known, and Kanine and all those other boys all those linebackers have been filling the holes these last few weeks.
It's going to take a team effort.
Freedom up to the ball, 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 running back. Quarterback in shotgun. They give it to the up back. He busts through the hole, and he has a first down. Picks up 11 right away. Big run there by Isaac Gonering.
Yeah, Gonering right up the gut, as you mentioned, and he got through the first wave and got the first down. Unfortunately, it wasn't more than that.
Could have been more, but he was stopped. But not until he already had the first down, so it'll be first and 10 from the 47-yard line for the Irish. Same formation, 3 wide to the right. Shotgun, 1 running back. Drops back to pass. He's looking deep, and he lets it go. A long pass. Seth Dockstader's down there, and he comes up with it.
Yeah, their leading receiver got past the secondary, and a great throw, and a heck of a lot of time for Jaden in the pocket. He just unloaded and threw the bomb. He knew he was out there, and Dockstader hauled it in, and it's going to be, I believe, a first and goal now for the Irish.
First and goal at the 6, a big Big play there. 53-yard pass, it looks like. Yes, 53-yard pass.
2 plays, 2 first downs.
The pitch to the right, it's Gonering. He picks his blockers to the goal line, and it's a touchdown. And after 3 plays, they've scored already. Wow. Not the way we want to start this game.
Yeah, so you had 3 plays, 2 first downs, and now a touchdown for Freedom. They made that look all too easy on that first drive. And we had talked about the defense coming out there and making a stand. Unfortunately, that wasn't meant to be. So, and seeing both aspects of Freedom's game too, as now they'll attempt the PAT.
The extra point is up, and the extra point is good at the 11:18 mark of the first quarter. Freedom 7, Marinette nothing. Kit and I will be right back on Sports Radio 570 after these messages.
Looking for a credit union that truly cares about you and the community you live in? Then you ought to stop and see the folks at Bayshore Credit Union. Membership is open to anyone living or working in Marinette, Menominee, and Oconto counties. Whether it's everyday banking, a new auto loan, new mortgage, even a consolidation loan, they can help. And it's never too early to start establishing good credit. Bayshore Credit Union, located at 1514 Cleveland Avenue, Marinette. They're looking forward to meeting you.
Kim Barrett and all the staff of Tri-City Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine of Marinette are committed to get you back to your quality of life. Tri-City Physical Therapy has been in business for over 25 years and specialize in the treatment of shoulder, knee, and back, as well as general physical therapy. Let them help you overcome pain after an injury or disease. Tri-City Therapy and Sports can provide you with the most skilled and personalized rehabilitation treatment plan possible to help you get back on track. Tri-City Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine at 602 Wells Street in Marinette.
And we're back. James Jagelski takes the kickoff right up the middle and brings it all the way up to, it looks like maybe he got to the 22-yard line. And that's where Marinette will start this game on offense. 24-yard line. 1st and 10, Marines.
And here we are less than a minute into this ball game, and Marinette's down 7-0, and Freedom gives up less than 6 points a game. So the Marines got their backs against the wall already.
Marinette comes out, 2 spread to the right, 1 to the left. They hand it right up the middle. There's room. A nice run there. James Jagelski with a nice 4-yard run.
That's a good first down play just off the right side, as mentioned, by James Jagelski. Making a little dent into that front 4 of the Freedom defense.
He actually picked up 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Marines at the 30-yard line. We'll give him 1 extra yard there. 1st down and 10. 10 minutes, 43 seconds left. First quarter. Freedom 7, Marinette nothing. Marinette has 3 wide receivers split to the left. Now Nathan Paris goes in motion to the right. Luke Johnson awaits a snap, but we have a whistle and a flag.
A delay of game.
Well, it didn't seem like it to me.
No, there was a little bit of shuffling where we mentioned Paris was going from the left side to the right side. But that being said, I don't think they were taking that much time. But we're not keeping the stopwatch here.
Yeah, it's not up to us.
Yeah, and so much for that 5 yards that Jagelski got on 1st down, because now it's going to be 1st and 10 instead of 2nd and 5.
2nd down and 11, they're making it.
2nd, I should say.
You got it.
Excuse me.
10 minutes, 10 seconds left. First quarter. Here's the snap. Fade to the left. He's going to Paris. Paris is there, just off his fingertips. Incomplete. Nice play.
Yeah, Luke Johnson put it where only Paris would have a shot at it, just across midfield, right in front of the Marinette bench and right down below us. And just a fraction, maybe a half a stride off. Otherwise, that could have been a big gainer for the purple and white.
It was a good play because there was only one defender on that side of the field. It was wide open. That was the right call.
And Luke, if you underthrow that, it's probably going to be picked off. And he did not, unfortunately, overthrew it just a tad, but better to be incomplete than intercepted.
3rd down and 11 for the Marines. Hipke and Webb split left. Johnson rolls to his left. He lets it go. He has a man. Caught there by Connor Nelson, but he is short of the 1st down. That'll bring up a 4th down. Looks like he picked up about 6.
I like the little rollout there. I know Luke Johnson, when you interviewed him a couple weeks ago, or last week, he likes that rollout, and he's good at throwing from outside of the pocket.
He said he's getting better at squaring his shoulders to the target, so he said he is getting more comfortable every year at that. Here's the punt. Snap is high, but it's corralled. Kick is off. Off the side of his foot, it just makes it past midfield.
Yeah, we'll see where the Zebra is going to mark it. Looks to be about the 43, about the 43-yard line in Freedom territory. So the Irish will have it in good shape here, already up 7-0.
First and 10 for the Irish at their own 43-yard line, and they lead 7-0 with 9 minutes, 28 seconds left in the first quarter. Bringing the team up is Charles Jaden, the quarterback. They split 3 to the left. Shotgun with one running back. We wait the snap. There it is. They hand it off to the back. Gonering, pushing forward, but nothing doing there. Marinette, we have Connor Nelson, Luke Johnson, Jesse Johnston, all in there.
That's how you gang tackle right there. Excellent job by those Marines you just mentioned on defense. And, we were told that Freedom would play with their offense coming out with that I formation, but they've been out of the shotgun so far with Jaden, the quarterback. The only I formation is Jaden and then the tailback behind him. That's not really the I formation.
Not the I formation that I grew up with, anyway. Not at all. I guess he dots that I somehow.
Yeah.
3 to the left this time. Here's the snap. Drops back. 7-step drop. Looking deep. Fires out to the left. Overthrows his receiver, and they call interference. Boy.
That's a
close call there.
Yeah, very close call. A tough one against the Marinette Marines.
He may have gotten there a little bit early, but it was close.
I think that was James Jagelski there who appeared to have, it was, like you said, it was one that could have gone either way. And it was pretty close to an uncatchable ball, too.
And he's a ball hawk. He saw that ball in the air. I think he may have just mistimed that because he got it. It was in the air, and he was going after it. I think he just mistimed it.
I think he got the receiver. He was had his right arm on the receiver's back, and then he went up with his left arm trying to swat the ball away, and he got called for having the right arm on the receiver.
They'll have to be careful because if they're calling it that tight in high school football, you have to be real careful out there playing cornerback tonight. 3 wide receivers to the right. Same formation. Shotgun, one running back. Pitch to the right. There's Gonering again. He makes one man miss. He's to the 30, to the 20. Pushed out of bounds at the 15-yard line. He cut it inside originally, bounced it outside, and had a nice pickup there. 25 yards.
Yeah, Freedom is, I think they've only run about 5 or 6 plays so far, and they have already 4 first downs and a touchdown. The only time they didn't get either a first down or, of course, a touchdown was when they had that short gain by Gonering.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line, actually. Here it is. Wide receiver screen to the left. It is caught there by Avery Van Stralen, but he cannot get into the end zone, but he did pick up about 6 yards. Blocked nicely by the Irish.
And well-designed play, like you said, a little wide receiver screen off to the left side, and they're in business here and knocking on the door again.
2 for 2, Charles Jaden tonight. 59 yards already. 8 minutes, 4 seconds left in the first quarter. It's 2nd down and 4 for the Irish. 3 wide receivers split to the right. 1 back behind. Jaden in the shotgun. Here's the snap. They give it to Gonering right up the middle, and he powers through into the end zone, and they score again. And it's Gonering once more.
And Isaac Gonering, he has his nose for the end zone. That's already 2 scores for him, and he's among the leaders in the Northeastern Conference in touchdowns. I think he actually leads in touchdowns, and he already has 2 here in the first quarter.
2 touchdowns by Gonering. We await the extra point. Here's the snap. Kick is up. The kick is good. The score is now Freedom 14, Marinette nothing with 7 minutes, 49 seconds left in the first quarter. We'll take a quick break and be right back on Sports Radio 570. Bayside Motorsports and Cycle is your full-line service destination, servicing most makes and models of ATVs and motorcycles, from a simple tune-up and oil change to major engine overhauls. Their expanded service department will have you back on your machine fast. Bayside Motorsports and Cycle also specializes in motorcycle and ATV performance work to keep you a step above your competition. Ask about their service specials. Bayside Motorsports and Cycle in Green Bay or at BaysideMotorsports.com. Welcome back to Marinette Marines football. Freedom scores again. They lead 14-0 with 7 minutes, 49 seconds left in the first quarter.
And this Freedom team, when they run Isaac Gondering right up the middle, out of that I formation, out of the when I got the quarterback out of the shotgun, they give it to him, the tailback, and nothing fancy. He just goes right up the gut. Great blocking up front, and they stop us if you can. And so far, Marinette has not been able to stop him. And then you also throw in Jaden, who is, I think you said, 2 for 2 in throwing the football. They're looking awfully tough and very well balanced on the offensive side.
That's a big team too. They all look big, all those players. Here's the kick. It bounces at the 10-yard line. Picked up by James Jagelski. He goes up the left side, finds some room all the way up to the 31-yard line. Not bad. Marinette will take over. First down and 10 from the 31-yard line.
Yeah, good starting position for the Marinette Marines. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Andy Walters and offensive coordinator Bob Calwertz decide to do here as this game progresses. On the first series, Luke Johnson had some success, a little bit of success moving out of the pocket. We'll see if they keep going with that.
That's right. I think that penalty really hurt that first drive, too.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Webb split to the left. They give it to Weisgerber off the right side. Powers forward for maybe a yard. He had a little bit of room, but it closed very quickly.
Yeah, with a Freedom defense, those holes tend to close very quickly as they swarm to the football. And talk about gang tackling. They're very quick on defense. You mentioned they got some size, but also they're very quick, and that's a tough combination to try to stop.
And when I say size, it's more height that I'm talking about. They're not huge by any means, but they're very tall. Weisgerber in motion. Johnson fakes it to him, drops back, fires it. He has Paris. Oh, just off his fingertips. Nice play call.
Yeah, twice now where Luke Johnson and also Nate Paris have almost managed to hook up for a long reception and each side of the field, left and now right, and both times missing by just a matter of inches.
I like that call, though. I like what they're doing with Paris. They have him at tight end, and he's slipping out. And he's getting open. They're just missing it. Third down and 10 from their own 30-yard line. Marinette traveling right to left on your sports radio, 570 radio dial. Jonte Webb split right. 7 minutes, 8 seconds left. Johnson drops back, fires, overshoots his receiver, who is tangled up with the defender. No flag there, but we do have a flag back by Johnson. Might be a late hit.
Well, Luke got he got hit right as he threw the ball. Let's see what the official's going to speak to us here.
We await the call.
Now they're calling roughing the passer on Freedom, and as that play was unfolding, that's going to be Marinette's first down, and it comes via the penalty, the first infraction against the Irish, and Luke got drilled just as he threw the ball, and they called the personal foul roughing the passer. It was a leak. I thought it was a legal hit, but he must have got him closer to the head.
That's right. It must have been a head shot because, like you said, it was as he was.
It wasn't
throwing
late, that's for sure.
Not at all. But Marinette will take it. First down and 10 from the 45-yard line. Two receivers split left, Paris and Webb. In motion, Jagelski this time, but we have flags. That play looked doomed from the start.
It might be a false start.
Just didn't look quite right from the beginning. Good call, Kit. False start.
The bad news is the play looked doomed, but the good news is the play didn't count. But more bad news, it's a penalty. That's already.
I'm confused now. Is that new math or what is that?
The math here is 3 penalties for 25 yards against Marinette here in less than a half a quarter and only less than 5 minutes. And that's not good news.
Not at all. They've actually been a lot better with penalties the last few games. Marinette up to the ball, first down and 10. They give it to Connor Nelson, the up back. Powers forward for maybe 1 yard. That's about it. That'll bring up second down and 14 from their own 40-yard line.
And, of course, if you can't run the football against Freedom, at least keep their defense honest, that really puts you behind the 8 ball because you're going to be looking at second and long and third and long. And right now, of course, with that penalty, it is second and very long, second and 14, as you mentioned.
Those second and longs, third and longs, they eliminate any kind of surprise that you have in your playbook.
Yeah, really, all you can do here is try to pick up about half of it if you can, and then work on make third down a little more manageable.
I do see Jonte Webb one-on-one with no safety help, and so does Johnson. He fires to him, and he was roped inside there by the defender, and the referee does call it.
And that was interference all the way.
He was all over him.
And that was just a laser that Luke Johnson threw. And as Webb was going up to try to haul it in, he never had time to get his arms up.
Not at all. I think Johnson saw what I saw, one-on-one with no safety help, and that's where he was going with that football. 15 yards.
Boy, the penalties are mounting for both teams. 2 penalties for 30 yards on Freedom. As I mentioned, 3 for 25 against Marinette, and that's only 6:18 to play in the first quarter, so less than a half a quarter, and both teams ready with quite a few yards and penalties, and Marinette with their second first down on this drive, both via the penalty.
And without much going on offense, they find themselves in Freedom's territory already. Here's the snap. Johnson looks for Webb. He fires the fade. Nothing doing there, and no flag. They got tangled up, but it was incidental. They're not going to call that.
I think that was a good non-call there, and assistant coach Bob Calwertz is seeing something here with Freedom's defense that maybe the best option that Marinette has is to try to loosen up that defense by throwing the football, and then maybe that could get the running game going.
I think what he's seeing is no safety help. They're one-on-one on the outsides.
Yeah, and if Luke has time, maybe they can make some hay doing this. We'll see.
6 minutes, 13 seconds left in the first quarter. It's Freedom 14, Marinette nothing. Weisgerber in motion. They fake it to him. Johnson looks deep, fires. He has a man wide open. James Jagelski makes one man miss into the end zone. Touchdown, Marinette. What a call.
Yeah, beautiful call. You got that right. And James Jagelski, how they let him wide open, who knows? But he was wide open. And once he caught the ball right around the 15-yard line or so, maybe the 10, he made a little just juke to the defensive back to allow him to score. And, hey, Luke Johnson to James Jagelski, and we're on the board.
That's right, 47-yard touchdown pass from Luke Johnson to James Jagelski. We await the extra point from Garrett Wallaway, he of the orange shoes. Here's the snap. Kick is up. It got blocked a little. Did it make it over? It sure did. Wow. With 6 minutes, 3 seconds left in the first quarter, Marinette answers right back. The score is Freedom 14, Marinette 7. We'll be right back on Sports Radio 570.
Where can you go to get a bite to eat before or after the game? Dexter's. Dexter's in Menominee has enough seating for the whole team and a menu to fit everyone's taste and appetite. Or call ahead and take your order to go. Dexter's looks forward to seeing you this year. Good luck to all M&M Sports participants. Dexter's, located on 10th Avenue in Menominee. Check out their menu online at dextersrestaurantonline.com and like us on Facebook.
Welcome back to Marinette Marines football, and we have something great to announce, and that was a score right before that break.
Exactly, and and that's kind of big news against Freedom. They've only allowed 38 points in 5 games, and here Marinette, thanks to 2 penalties against Freedom, get a couple of first downs on that drive, but a beautiful pass from Luke Johnson to James Jagelski, who somehow got wide open secondary, and the key thing is that Johnson had plenty of time. Great job by the offensive line doing some pass blocking there, giving Johnson that time to find juice for the touchdown.
Marinette gets ready to kick off. They trail 14-7, 6 minutes, 3 seconds left, first quarter. Here's the kick to the 20-yard line up the left side. The Irish, they cut it back up the middle. They have room to the 50. Taken down at the 40-yard line. Brought down by, I think Nathan Paris might have gotten in there and brought him down.
Yeah, number 8 for the Irish on the return. And,
Seth Dockstader,
that receiver.
The big-time receiver, that's right. Making another big-time play. Marinette stops a touchdown, but they do not stop the Irish from getting into Marinette territory. They'll take over at Marinette's 39-yard line. 1st and 10, 5 minutes, 56 seconds left in the first quarter. Same formation, 3 split to the right, 1 running back. Drops back, rolls to his right, looking for someone to throw to. Throws it to the right side. Good job there by Juice. James Jagelski breaks it up because the wide receiver was open.
And Jaden, the quarterback, Charles Jaden, he was flushed to his right and had to throw on the move. And like you mentioned, Jagelski with a nice attempt there to bat it down.
He breaks well on the ball, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he's tough ball player on both sides. We mentioned that all along, including on the pregame show tonight. But he can impact the game on offense, of course, defense, and even special teams.
2nd down and 10 for the Irish. Here we go. Pitch to the right. Nothing doing there. A whole host of Marines in on that action.
Connor Nelson leading the charge.
May have gotten a yard, but that's about it.
Yeah. The Marines did a great job of stringing that out, and I mentioned it's going to be 3rd down and about 9 now for the Irish. And boy, if the Marines can get a stop here, they may be in 4-down territory. They're 14-7 and inside the 40-yard line, but we'll see. This 3rd down play is going to be big right here.
3rd down and 8 for the Irish. 3 split to the left, 1 running back, tight end to the right. Jaden barks out the signals. Gets a snap, fakes it to the up back, drops back, looking deep, and he lets it go wide open, and he just misses him, Kit. It was almost an exact replica of the play Marinette did, but in this case, Avery Van Stralen was wide open down the field at about the 10-yard line, but he was just overshot.
Now, the only difference is that Jaden, unlike Johnson, had some pressure, and yet he threw it just a tad sooner than he wanted to, because as he tossed it up, he was getting hit. I think he wanted, if he had a half second more, he might have completed that. And instead, they're looking at 4th down, and they're going for it here.
How big is this play? Marinette could get the ball right back with a big stop here. 3 to the left, 1 back. Here's the shotgun snap. Drops back, looking deep. He's under pressure. Evades the first man, lets it go. Is it intercepted? Wait for the call. It is. Interception, Marinette. Just as good as a punt. Marinette will take over at about the 10-yard line, I'm thinking. It looks like that. It's on the far side of the field. That's a little hard to see.
I'm trying to see the number who got that for the Marines.
James Jagelski. Who else?
Who else? You know, and it's nice to have the interception, but a bat down would have been even better because you would have had the ball up near the 40-yard line. Instead, you're at the 10, but
that's true.
We're not going to quibble.
That's true. It's hard to think of that, in that split second like that.
Exactly.
So we'll take the interception, just play the ball and do the best you can. And he went up and got it. Marinette takes over. 1st and 10 from their own 10. They trail by 7, 14-7. Here's the snap. A low snap. Johnson did all he could to save it. When he got it off the ground, he threw it underhand way up in the air, and somehow James Jagelski came down with it, but I believe they lost about 6 yards on that play.
Well, you're right. They lost a whole bunch, and that was a crazy throw by Luke Johnson. But as you mentioned, you had to dig it out.
Again, that would have been better if he just knocked that one down, I think. Because now it's 2nd and 17 from their own 5-yard line. Tough call here for the coaches. 3 split to the right. Luke Johnson by himself in the backfield. They give it to the up back. There's a little room, but it closes quickly on James Jagelski. Picked up 1 or 2, and that's about it.
Our Freedom's thinking right now if they get a 3 and out here, and they might get the ball back right where they had it on that 4th down play. Or even better than that, so they can hold the Marines on this 3rd down play here, because the Marines will be punting from inside their own end zone.
Jagelski picked up 1 yard on that carry. It's 3rd down and 15 from their own 6-yard line. See what the Marinette Marines have here. They just hand it off to the up back. I think they're just trying to make room for the punt.
Yeah, Coach Walters and company playing it very safe there, and which is a wise thing to do.
Connor Nelson on that carry. He picked up a yard. It's 4th down now. Actually, he picked up 2. We'll give him 2 on that one.
Yeah, and the return man, Gonering for Freedom, standing right about at the Marinette 42-yard line or so. So they should get it in really good shape here.
Here's the punt. High punt, but short. It hits at Marinette's 30-yard line. Takes a Marinette roll, I guess you could say. It might have got an extra yard or 2. That's about it. And Freedom will take over at the 32-yard line. Marinette's 32-yard line.
Yeah, it was great to force a turnover, but unfortunately the Marines couldn't do anything with it. As a matter of fact, they went backwards. But maybe they can stop them again here. We'll see. 1st
down and 10 for the Irish at Marinette's 32-yard line. 3 minutes left in the first quarter. It's the Irish 14 and Marinette 7. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Gonering in the backfield with Jaden. In motion goes Dockstader. They hand it to Gonering right up the middle. They thought he was down. He bounces up and runs untouched into the end zone. The Marines are talking to the refs.
Yeah.
They thought they had him down.
I thought he was down too, and Connor Nelson is looking. He's got his arms out like saying, what's going on here? And I tend to agree with him.
What happened was Gonering went right up the middle. He got hit. It looked like he went to a knee, and then he popped up. Everyone thought the play was done, and he kept running all the way to the end zone untouched, and they're calling it a touchdown.
And the other thing I can think is that maybe he, obviously the official didn't see the knee go down, and maybe he was, maybe never did go down. But it sure looked like it from here that he did.
We have a whistle before the extra point.
Got an encroachment penalty on the Marines on the point after try here.
So that was a one-play drive for 30 yards and a touchdown. Penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. We await the extra point. Adam Schomer doing the honors for the Irish. He lets it go, the lefty. Kick is up, and the kick is good.
You know, getting back to that touchdown by Gonering, that was a very bizarre play. And sometimes, like when a player may hit, he may think he's going down, and he maybe hits somebody on the pile, and his knee or the elbow doesn't go down. It hits a player who's laying on the turf. And maybe that happened, but, you know, it happened so quickly that it was hard, and we're so far away, it's hard to tell. And obviously, there's no challenge
That's
or
right.
flag to throw, but everybody on the Marines defense
Just
kind of stopped. And I think some of the Freedom offensive linemen stopped, too. The only person who didn't stop was Gonering, and to his credit, he kept going.
That's right, and like you said, no instant replay in high school football, so it's going to stand.
And he's got 3 scores now, doesn't he?
That he does. He has 3 scores and 82 yards on the night, 7 carries. Freedom 21, Marinette 7. 2 minutes, 53 seconds left. Still the first quarter, long first quarter. The Irish get set to kick off, and here it is. The kick goes to the left side. Taken by Marinette at the 10-yard line. Trying to go up the middle, nothing doing there. Taken down by a whole bunch of Irish. Marinette will start at about the 16-yard line, it looks like.
Excellent coverage here for Freedom on special teams, and the Marines, after the interception by Jagelski, and now with this kickoff return, they had some terrible field position of late after earlier in the quarter having some pretty good starting positions.
They got it up to the 18-yard line. That's where they'll take over. First down and 10 for Marinette. 2 minutes, 46 seconds left in the first quarter. They trail 21-7. Jonte Webb split left. They give it to Weisgerber on a sweeper on the right side. He makes one man miss, powers through another. Picks up a nice gain there of 6 yards.
Yeah, exactly, right around the right side. And Dalton Weisgerber, we've been talking about him quite a bit, and he's been having his number called more and more each game, it seems like, with good reason. He's been very steady and only a sophomore and showing improvement each and every game.
He's kind of the thunder to Jagelski's lightning, don't you think?
Yeah, to a certain degree, and the good news is they're both underclassmen.
2 minutes, 10 seconds left, first quarter. Second down and 4 for the Marines at their own 24-yard line. They go up the middle. Nothing doing this time. Connor Nelson trying to bull forward, but he couldn't get anything. That'll bring up third down and 4 for Marinette.
A manageable third down here with under 2 minutes to play in this first quarter. But, boy, it'd be nice to pick up this first down, move the chains, and start working that field position a little bit more.
On a short third down, this might be a spot where you want to slip Nate Paris behind the linebackers. Third down and 4 from their own 24-yard line. 1 minute, 34 seconds left in the first quarter. Nathan Paris split to the left this time. Webb to the right. Here's the snap. They go to Paris on a slant, but it's knocked down at the line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up fourth down for Marinette.
Now you were thinking, actually, Coach Bob Callwerts was thinking along the same lines as you, try to go to Paris, and unfortunately one of the big linemen for the Irish got the paw up there and batted it down.
And unless Marinette can get a good punt here, the Irish are going to have good field position yet again. 1 minute, 24 seconds left in the first quarter. Marinette has a 4th down and 4 at their own 24-yard line. Getting set to punt. Here's the kick. Better kick this time. Into Irish territory at the 45-yard line. Gonnering makes the first man miss, but can't make the second man miss.
And they'll have it just shy of the midfield stripe. So once again, good position for the Irish.
They'll take over at their own 49-yard line. They lead 21-7.
Yeah, they've had the ball 4 times so far, and they've scored on 3 of those possessions. The only time they didn't score is when James Jagelski had an interception.
The Irish up to the line of scrimmage. First down and 10, their own 49-yard line. 1 minute, 14 seconds left in the first quarter. 2 split to the right. Jaden barks out the signals. He gets it. Fakes a wide receiver screen, looking to go deep. He lets it go. He has a man. They fight who came down with it. I think the Irish have it, but the Marines are pointing. Nope, they say the Irish had it. Jagelski
and Dockstader were going for it, and that's a good battle right there. And unfortunately for the Marines, Dockstader came down in control of the football.
1st and 10 for the Irish. 28-yard pickup there for Dockstader.
Now, he's got huge numbers here in the quarter.
He does. 81 yards already. 81 yards for him. First down and 10. They give it to him on a reverse. He goes off the left side, has room, and has a first down, but he loses the ball, and Marinette picks it up.
Second
Big break.
And Dockstader came on a little reverse, almost like a jet sweep is what they ran with him. And had a good gainer going, but unfortunately for him, he coughed up the football, and the Marines with the recovery. So Marinette forcing 2 turnovers on the Irish here in this first quarter, but still down by 14 points.
49 seconds left in the first quarter. Marinette takes over. Backed up, but they'll take it. They'll take the ball at their own 7-yard line.
Exactly. And on both turnovers that the Marines have forced, they end up starting at inside the 15 and now inside the 10.
That's right.
But at least you're stopping them.
You got that right. Jonte Webb splits to the left. Everybody else in tight, in motion. Jagelski. They give it to him. He picks and weaves his way up the middle there, and he picked up maybe 5 yards. Good first down run. Give him 4.
Against that stout defense of Freedom, that's a very good first down play.
2nd down and 5 for Marinette. 27 seconds left in this first quarter. They trail 21-7 to the Freedom Irish. Webb splits to the left. Everybody else in tight. Marinette traveling right to left on your Sports Radio 570 radio dial. This time they try to get Jagelski around the end on the left side. Not much doing there. Maybe a yard, if that.
Yeah, about 4 Irish making the tackle on Jagelski.
And that will be the end of the first quarter with Freedom leading 21-7. Kit and I will be right back after these messages on Sports Radio 570.
Find your next truck at Kane, the #1 truck destination north of Green Bay for 2015. From the most dependable full-size pickups on the road, Kane delivers Silverado. Or the most advanced pickup ever, Kane delivers Sierra. Right now, visit Kane in Marinette or O'Connell to enter the Chevrolet Packers Ultimate Fan Sweepstakes. Win a 2016 Chevrolet and other great prizes. Over 300 quality vehicles at KaneGM.com, O'Connell, and Marinette.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium, where Marinette finds themselves trailing 21-7 at the start of the second quarter.
That was a marathon first quarter. Between he had 4 touchdowns scored, 3 by Freedom, unfortunately, 1 by Marinette. They had quite a few penalties, so a lot of stoppages in plays. That was a long first quarter.
That was. I was telling you on the break, it felt like an entire game wrapped up into one quarter to me. Freedom 21, Marinette 7 as we start the second quarter. Marinette will have the ball.
Yeah, and some encouraging signs in that first quarter is that the Marines did stop Freedom twice with a couple of turnovers, a fumble recovery, and also a pick. Of course, the discouraging thing is that Freedom has, I'm not sure what they're averaging per play, but it's quite a bit. But if Marinette can keep this drive going and make it a one-score game, who knows?
If they can keep it close, it'd be interesting because they're definitely causing turnovers, which is uncharacteristic of the Irish.
That can be in any ball game, I don't care who's playing, that can be the big X factor right there.
So true. 3rd down and 4 for Marinette at their own 14-yard line. Here's the snap. They fake it to the up back, fire it wide open as Nate Paris at the 30-yard line makes a man miss. And he's taken down at the 39-yard line. Big play there.
Right in the seam, over the middle, Nate Paris. And like you said, he made the first guy miss after he caught the football. That allowed him to get an additional about 10 to 12 yards. And another first down for the Marines. That's actually their first down that wasn't via a penalty.
Luke Johnson. He's firing tonight, though. What a dart that was.
And he's looking good.
It was about a 15-yard in. Paris was wide open. Once he caught it, he made the first man miss and got yards after the catch. 1st down and 10 from the 40-yard line. A sweep to the left to Jagelski. Makes one man miss and gets positive yardage because it looked like he was going to get caught behind the line of scrimmage, but he picked up about 3.
There was a lot going on that play. They gave it to Jagelski, but a few fakes after that trying to disrupt the Freedom defense, but they were not fooled. And Jagelski did manage to get a little bit of, about 3 yards out of that, which the way the play started, it looked like a no-gainer.
2nd down and 7 for Marinette at their own 43-yard line. They're traveling left to right on your Sports Radio 570 radio dial. Here's the snap. They give it to the up back. And again, positive yardage, Kit.
A good surge by the offensive line, forcing a nice hold there for, is that Nelson?
That was Connor, yeah.
Connor on the carry. They've got a 3rd and about 2 coming up now near midfield, about the 48-yard line. So good to see the Marines getting something going on the ground now. And I think that passing game is kind of making things a little easier running the football, and a lot of times it works in reverse, where the running game opens up the passing game. That's been the opposite here tonight for Marinette.
That's right. 3rd down and 3 for Marinette. Jonte Webb split to the right. Everybody else in tight. In motion, Weisgerber. They fake it to him. Johnson pulls it back, gets the first down. He has room up the left side. 40, 30, 20. Wow. Taken down by the shoulder pads. Nice job by Luke Johnson because he wanted to throw.
You know, we see Luke Johnson tuck it and run it too often. He did that time. And what a wise move by the savvy veteran quarterback. Because you're right, he wanted to throw it. And there was a couple of Freedom Irish who were converging on him. But Luke showing some pretty good wheels there going down the left sidelines.
He faked it to Weisgerber, and he was trying to get the cornerbacks to bite. They didn't, so he just pulled it down and ran. Picked up a huge chunk.
Saw a lot of green grass in front of him. Why not?
Same formation. 1st down and 10 at the 18-yard line. Marinette threatening. Up the middle they go. Marinette picks up good yardage again. Another 3-yard pickup, it looks like. Good 1st down run for the Marines.
Yeah, Weisgerber, one of the Marines coming up a little lame there, but going to be okay.
You know, if you think back a few weeks, Kit, Marinette was having trouble because the offensive line was having trouble on their blocks, and they were actually moving backwards quite often. They have not been doing that tonight a lot. Most of their yardage has been positive, even if it's not much.
Well, if you get 3-4 on 1st down, that makes 2nd down a heck of a lot easier.
2nd down and 7 at the 15-yard line. A pitch to the left to Jagelski. Nothing doing. He is swarmed under.
And just as we say that, the Marines lose about 6 or 7 yards on that, as you mentioned, a little toss out to Jagelski, and that was doomed from the get-go.
I need to be quiet now, because
that's
called the jinx.
Yeah, because we have so much power up here.
Oh, we do. We have power everywhere.
But that offensive line really has been progressing as the season has been going on.
That brings up a 3rd down and 15 from Freedom's 24-yard line.
Well, you're in obviously 4-down territory here, so what you want to do is try to get about a half of it if you can, and I think the Marines are going to talk about it here.
Marinette's going to take a timeout. Kip makes a good point. Pick up half of it now, and then you'll have a manageable 4th down. With 8 minutes, 35 seconds left in the first half, Marinette takes a timeout. Tonight's game is brought to you by North Motorsports, the area's only full-line dealer of Honda, Can-Am, Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Snapper outdoor products. From their friendly sales staff to their certified service technicians, they've got you covered. Visit North Motorsports at 3711 10th Street in Menominee, or give them a call at 906-863-5592. That's 906-863-5592. 9-2, also, Kane Chevrolet, driving the game to you as the #1 truck destination north of Green Bay. Kane Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, O'Connell, and Marinette.
All right, don't forget Badgers football tomorrow night, Sports Radio 570. Badgers taking on Hawaii. That's at Camp Randall, not in Hawaii, unfortunately for Bucky fans there.
Hawaii, they have cool uniforms. I saw online they came out with these retro uniforms, and they look like rainbows because that's their nickname, the Hawaii Rainbows. And it was a big deal online. People were talking about their retro uniforms that they came out with. 3rd down and 15 for the Marines. Luke Johnson rolls to his right, evades one, lets the ball go, wide open at the 5, into the end zone, Jonte Webb.
Yeah, and Luke, as he was rolling to his right, he was actually directing traffic and pointing to Jonte Webb where he wanted him to go. And Webb, of course, did just that. He found a little seam in that zone defense, and he got it right around the 5-yard line, and then just kind of tiptoed his way into the promised land there for another 6 points for Marinette. And all of a sudden, the Marines, pending this extra point, could be within a touchdown of the top team in the Northeastern Conference.
I'm very impressed tonight with the Marines so far. Fighting back after getting down early. We await this extra point. Garrett Walloway to do the honors. Here's the snap. The kick is up, and it's blocked. It was kicked low right into the crowd, and it got knocked down.
Yeah, high snap, too, and so the Marines still within a touchdown, but also a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. But nonetheless, 21-13 down with 8:25 to go till halftime. But the Marines doing some really good things against a team that has only allowed 38 points in 5 games, and they're ranked number 5 in the state. And here you're within 8 points of them, and actually, of course, moving the ball primarily through the air, but also starting to get a little ground game going, and just as important, starting to do the job on defense, forcing a couple of turnovers. And it's, of course, it's going to take an effort on both sides of the ball. You can't just try to trade touchdowns with these guys. You got to stop them.
That's right, and they have looked good, actually, Marinette. Let's see if they can keep it up. Very impressed with the offensive showing so far against this big defense that we heard about.
Yeah, Luke Johnson, a couple of touchdown passes here in this one. One to James Jagelski, one to Jonte Webb, and I'm not sure what his numbers are. We'll get those in a little bit, but he is really looking good, and whether he's in the pocket or scrambling, he is on target.
You know what he's doing is dropping back, and he's getting time with his legs. He's buying time, and it's breaking down the defense because the defense can only hold up for so long, and he's stringing these plays out just long enough for the defense to break down, and he finds a hole in the defense. Here's the kickoff. Nice kick all the way to the 10-yard line. They fake a reverse. Gonering takes it up the right side. We have a flag. He has a lot of room, 40, 50, 30. And he's taken down at the 25-yard line of Marinette, but there's a flag way back where he caught the ball. So hopefully this will be coming back.
And number 2, Garrett Walloway, was the last line of defense. He made the tackle right around the 35 or 30-yard line. But I think you are right. This is coming back.
This is great for Marinette because this will back him up.
Yeah, it's from the point of the infraction, the spot of the foul. Fortunately, because that negates a huge return by Gonering, who is so dangerous for freedom.
Gonering, he's deceptive in how fast he is, isn't he?
Yeah, he's. I'm not sure if he's deceptive. I think he's been just a one-man wrecking crew for them.
That's right. I guess when I say that, I mean just his stride, the way he runs, it's so smooth that it doesn't look like he's running, fast or hard, but he's picking up. He's covering big, large chunks.
Yeah, exactly.
The crowd's dancing with the music. Getting into this game, it's 21-13, Freedom. First down and 10 from their own 11. Up the middle they go, and they pick up a first down, dragging tacklers with them is Gonering yet again. I talk about his speed, and that time he shows us his power.
Yeah, what a back. And Coach Walters was mentioning that he feels that Gonering is the best back in the Northeastern Conference. And we've seen some pretty good ones along the way so far. And that's a pretty big statement there by Coach Walters.
First down and 10 for the Irish at their own 24-yard line. 2 split to the left, 1 to the right. This time they're in the I formation, and they pitch it to Gonering. Gonering spins back into the heart of that defense, and he's taken down by the Marines.
Yeah, the Marines doing a great job of turning that in.
Lane Schmeckel was there to stop him. They picked up 1 yard.
That was a key there, not letting Gonering get to the outside. Good job turning that back inside to where he had some help.
Marinette following their keys, doing a great job of team defense right now. 2nd down and 9 for Freedom at their own 25-yard line. 2 split to the left in the I formation yet again. They give it to Gonering. He tries to pick a hole off the right side, but he's brought down again after a short pickup. Give the Marines credit for not letting him gash them.
Yeah, exactly. And the Marines doing a good job there. Back-to-back plays by Isaac Gonering.
This is a big play now. 3rd down and 4, because this is not 4-down territory, you don't think, unless it's a short one.
Exactly. And Freedom decides to go to the I formation after starting off the entire first quarter out of that shotgun.
Again, in the I formation, Jaden under center. 2 to the left. He fakes it to Gonering, looks deep. He lets it go. He has a man, but it's knocked down. Beautiful play there.
Great timing right there.
Spencer Hipke, give him a lot of credit.
Yeah, Hipke had a pick a week ago, and the youngster comes up with a big play, and his timing was perfect. He got there to the receiver just as the ball got there, and the Marines forcing the first punt of the evening for Freedom.
He was wide open, but Hipke broke on that ball and knocked it away, like you said, at the exact moment that ball got there. Marinette with a big stop. Here's the snap and the punt. Nice punt into Marines territory. Taken at the 40-yard line. Made one man miss, picked up a couple yards, and Marinette will take over at their own 42. 1st down and 10. They only trail by 8.
Yeah, great job by the defense to get that stop. And now with 6:20 to play till halftime, down, as you mentioned, by 8, 21-13. The Marines, man, I tell you, I think they're serving notice to Freedom that we got a football game here tonight at Higgins Stadium.
They look like a completely different team with the offensive line gelling, and it just looks like a different team, a lot more confidence, playing a lot better right now, and giving Freedom all they can handle. 1st down and 10 at their own 42-yard line. 6 minutes, 20 seconds left in the first half. Here's the snap. Jagelski tries to go up the middle. Nothing doing this time. Gain of 0 on that carry.
Yeah, bottled up that time, but keeping them honest, and that ground game is starting to improve, and we'll see what happens here as this first half starts to wind down. The Marines, boy, they get a score here, really get the attention of Freedom.
Make things interesting, and they get the ball after half too. 2nd down and 10 from their own 42. Jonte Webb to the left, everybody else in tight. Reverse to Jagelski, and he has room. Kit off the left side. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown Marines. What a play call.
Little double reverse that time. Yeah, the Marines give it to, I think it was Weisgerber, but then hand it off to Jagelski. He goes around the left side, down the left sidelines, into pay dirt. And the Marines within a couple of points right now, down 21-19 after trailing early in this one. They got a chance. Well, we'll see if they go for the 2-point conversion or not, but may just play it safe and go for the one. We'll see what they do. But boy, James Jagelski, the juice was loose again.
The juice was loose. How about these Marinette Marines? The crowd is into it, having a great time tonight.
This team Freedom has only given up 38 points in 5 games. Marinette has half of that total already here in the first half with 19.
Marinette to go for 2. A rollout to the right. Johnson looks for somebody, has somebody wide open, and he's got it. Jonte Webb ties this game right up.
Wow. Once again, Luke Johnson keeping the play alive with his legs, rolling to his right, and finding Jonte Webb in the back of the end zone. And the big-time receiver hauls it in for the 2-point conversion as he kind of straddles the back of the end zone. We got a brand-new game here.
We got a brand-new game. Your Marinette Marines have just tied the 5th-ranked team in the state, 21-21, with 5 minutes, 32 seconds left in the first half, and this crowd is going crazy, and you can hear the music. It's your song again, Kit.
Yeah, here on Parents' Night, keep it coming, keep it coming. Yeah. I'm not sure what it is, but keep it coming.
The kids like it, I know that.
Doesn't sound like country to me.
It's a remix. I know the kids like it. That much I know. They're all over there dancing right now.
Little razzle-dazzle, though, for James Jagelski and the Marinette Marines, and, a little double reverse. And, why not go deep into your playbook? You have nothing to lose. You're only have one win in conference play. Freedom, as mentioned, among the top teams in the state. And all of a sudden, you're tied at 21 with them here.
They know they're in for a fight now.
And it hasn't just been razzle-dazzle either. It's been kind of just a little bit of everything, really.
Good, solid football, I'd say. Garrett Walloway gets ready to kick off. He gets a foot into it. Nice kick to the right side all the way to the 15. They take it up the right side, and he's met and dropped. What a play by Blaine Schmeckel. Was it Schmeckel? No, yeah, it was.
And the Marines playing inspired football right now. Gonnering, a great kick by Walloway because he kicked it, kind of angled it towards the sidelines, but it stayed in bounds. And once Gonnering got it, he really had nowhere to go because he couldn't go to his left because he would have been out of bounds. So excellent kick and great coverage by the Marines, and that's what it's going to take. All phases of the game trying to pull off this upset.
First down and 10 from their own 26-yard line. Freedom takes over with 5 minutes, 27 seconds left in the first half. In motion, Dockstader, they give it to him on a run. He tries to get around the corner, and he's taken down. There was room there, but he was tripped up after about a yard gain.
He ran about 20 yards, forgot 1 yard because most of it was east and west, and he finally turned it upfield. That's the exact same play that Dockstader fumbled on earlier. Only last time it went to the left when he fumbled. This time they're going to the right with a little, kind of like a little jet sweep, and he tried to turn it up, but only 1 yard, as you mentioned.
This defense looks completely different than it did 2-3 games ago. Faith in each other, staying in their lanes.
Looks different than it did in the first quarter, about halfway through the first quarter.
Second down and 9, 2 split to the left. They give it on a sweep, and there's a lot of room. They have a first down, sweep off the left side.
I think we have a different ball carrier here, too.
That time, the run was by Brett Schabel. Nice run, Brett Scheibel.
Jagelski may have saved a touchdown there as he made the tackle, and that's 7 first downs now for Freedom here in this first half.
First down and 10 from their own 42-yard line now. Now they split 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Jaden drops back looking to go deep. He lets it go. He has a man wide open all the way into Marinette territory, and he's still going. 3 people it took to take him down all the way to Marinette's 30-yard line.
Yeah, the Marines are trying to strip the ball from the receiver, and there's a great throw by the quarterback, Charles Jaden, because he got it just over the linebacker's hands into the receiver's hands, and for a big play all the way down to the 30, inside the 30, actually.
Colton Heenan on that reception, a 28-yard pickup. First down and 10 at Marinette's 29-yard line. Jaden drops back, fires deep. Nothing doing there. They tried a corner route. Dockstader all the way to about the 5-yard line, but he overthrew him.
A little bit of bumping going on, but no call on the Marines, fortunately. And, both these, I'm impressed with both these quarterbacks, both Luke Johnson for Marinette and Charles Jaden for Freedom. They're both coming out and really throwing this pigskin here tonight.
It's interesting because Jonte Webb, he's smacking his helmet out there. I think he might be upset with himself, but I actually thought he had good coverage on that. He's on Dockstader one-on-one on every play, and Dockstader is just as tall as Webb is, which is not the usual situation. They do a sweep to the right. Marinette's there, and they rip him down. Carter Helms on a sweep to the right, and he gets taken down at the line of scrimmage.
Kevin Canine leading the charge for the Marines on defense. Number 9 doing a great job.
There hasn't been much running room for the Irish. A couple plays here and there, but for the most part, Marinette's done a good job.
Well, early in the game, Gonnering had some huge holes, but you're right. The Marines have really done a great job in trying to corral him of late.
Third down and 9, big play here from the Marines, 28-yard line. In motion, Dockstader. They don't give it to him. They give it to the up back, and Marinette stops him after a gain of 2. That'll bring up a 4th down.
And Jesse Johnston there from his left defensive end position. And fourth down is right. Fourth and about 8 now. So they're obviously in 4-down territory. But 4th and 8, see if the Marines defense can get a stop here and get the ball back for the offense with under 3 to play here in the first half.
Huge play here, and Marinette's coaching staff agrees with us. They take a timeout, and we'll take one as well on Sports Radio 570.
Hi, this is Paul, CEO of the Menominee County Federal Credit Union. We're proud to sponsor high school sports on Bay City Radio, and we encourage all of you to support high school athletics as well. We know there's no better way for our young people to learn the lessons of life than by competing in sports. The Menominee County Federal Credit Union, where you dream the dream, will help make it come true, with locations in Powers, Kearney, Stevenson, and Menominee. Persons living or working in Marinette and Menominee counties are eligible for membership.
Welcome back to Marinette Marines football, where the Freedom Irish find themselves in a tussle here. It's 21-21 with 2 minutes, 57 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, it was 21-7. Seemed like not that long ago, but the Marines come storming back big time to knot this thing up at 21. And now a huge 4th down play coming up here with under 3 to play in the first half. It's going to be 4th and 8 for the Irish in Marinette territory, down around about the 28-yard line or so. Boy, if the Marines can get a stop here and get the offense back on the field and a chance to take the lead, who would have thunk it, huh?
That's right. I see a smile on Randy's face. I know he's having a good time. 4th down and 7 for the Irish. 3 wide receivers to the left. Jaden drops back. He's rolling left. He has nobody. He's down.
Yep, and he slipped. But forcing the pressure there was Jesse Johnston again. And the quarterback, Jaden, wanted to pivot and turn around and try to head in the other direction. And as he did, he slipped. And, of course, once you go down, you are down. And that was at the 35-yard line. And that was a huge loss. And the turnover on downs, and Marinette has it at their own 35-yard line.
And are the Marines fired up, jumping up, waving their arms to the crowd?
They should be.
They should be. What a game they're playing.
But you got to keep it going here.
2 minutes, 52 seconds left in the first half. 1st down and 10 for the Marinette Marines at their own 35-yard line. In motion, Jagelski. They give it to him to the left side. Cuts it in. He has room. Picks up 7 yards. Nice run there by Juice.
Yeah, 7, maybe even more than that. He's not too far from the sticks. I think he got a good spot there. And a little lunge at the end maybe got him closer to 8 yards. An excellent first down play by the Marines. And once again, I can't mention this enough. The offensive line is really doing a fantastic job up there. We're going to hear from one of them at halftime, by the way.
And he talks about this very thing. So listen at halftime. 2nd down and 2.
Yeah, Zach May, right?
That's right. For the Marines. They fake it to Weisgerber. Johnson drops back, lets it go. He has a man on the left side, wide open. Room all the way into Irish territory to the 37-yard line.
Connor Nelson kind of escapes out of the backfield. Nobody saw him. And before it was too late, another first down. And the Freedom defense is really on their heels right now. And they are a defense that came in that was highly touted, and Marinette is doing a number on them right now.
Like you said, I think they're on their heels. I don't think they know where the next play is coming from, where Marinette's going to hit them next.
And kudos to Coach Walters and also offense coordinator Calwerts as well.
1st down and 10 at the Freedom 38-yard line. In motion, Connor Nelson. Luke Johnson drops back, lets it go. He has a man at the 10, 5. Oh, he dropped it, kid. He had it, but it must have fell through. Weisgerber had it.
Another great call, though. Just unfortunately, the Marines couldn't haul it in that time.
It's shocking how wide open these receivers are on these plays, too. These play calls are amazing right now.
Well, let's see if they can keep this up here. It'll be interesting. Whether we'll win or lose, whatever happens here, it's going to be interesting to see what the Marines learned in scouting or watching some film or whatever, because they obviously saw some chinks in the armor.
2nd down and 10 at the Irish 38-yard line. Webb split to the right. Johnson drops back. Good protection, lets it go. Over the head of Spencer Hipke. That'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
Excellent coverage by Freedom as Hipke was well guarded there, and Luke trying to thread a needle, and fortunately he just went out of bounds as an incomplete pass.
But you know what? Like you said, we cannot say this enough, how much time he has to throw tonight. The offensive line is giving him all the time in the world.
And that's where it all starts. I mean, I don't care what you're doing, it all begins with those big guys up front. If you can give your quarterback or your running back, whatever, the run play or a pass play, you got to give them some room.
3rd down and 10 for the Marines at Freedom's 38-yard line. 1 minute, 37 seconds left. Luke Johnson drops back, rolls to his right, lets it go. It was almost intercepted. Incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down and 10.
Yeah, Dockstader almost had the interception. And now if you're Marinette here, do you want to pin them back here? You got just over 90 seconds to play in the first half, and if you go for it and don't get it, Freedom's going to have a chance to maybe get a late score here.
I think you have to punt, don't you think?
I would think so, but we'll see here. Luke Johnson, the Marines appear that they're going to be going for it here.
Surprising. But they've been aggressive all night, so
yeah.
Keep playing that way. 4th down and 10. Here's the snap. Johnson gets it. He's under pressure. He lets it go wide open on the left side. James Jagelski at the 15, down to the 10-yard line. What a call.
Well, never a doubt that they're going to go for it, huh? What a great call. You're right. Jagelski, how he got so wide open, how some of these players are getting so wide open is beyond me. I mean, and probably beyond right now Freedom's defensive coordinator as well, because these guys are getting wide open, and on 4th down and 10, they got it by about 20, 30-yard pickup.
1st down and 10 at the 11-yard line. Hand off to Juice off the right side. Nothing doing there. But that's not a bad thing. You want to get the clock down, give them no time to score before half.
Yeah, 1:05 to play, and the Marines will take a timeout here, and they're obviously in striking range here, trying to get some more points here as this first half starts to wind down. And boy, if they can get a score here, you get the ball back to start the third quarter. Wow. So, but first things first, we'll see if they can punch it in.
That's right. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by North Motorsports, the area's only full-line dealer of Honda, Can-Am, Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Snapper outdoor products. From their friendly sales staff to their certified service technicians, they've got you covered. Visit North Motorsports at 3711 10th Street in Menominee, or give them a call at 906-863-5592. That's 906-863-5592. Also, Kane Chevrolet, driving the game to you as the #1 truck destination north of Green Bay. Kane Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, O'Connell, Marinette. Your Marines are deadlocked at 21.
Now the Marines are out of timeouts here. Keep that in mind. Now they got it at the 12-yard line. Garrett Walloway warming up. A field goal attempt will not be out of the realm of possibilities here if it comes to that.
In motion, Weisgerber to the left, Johnson back. Lets it go wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Marines. And a flag, too, a late flag.
Yeah. And was that Jagelski?
I think it was Connor Nelson. Trying to see here. It's on the far side of the field. I believe that was Connor Nelson. Let's see here. Beautiful play. Again, completely wide open.
Yeah, and once again...
Oh, Nathan Paris.
Okay, Paris on the reception, and and he got drilled. Let's hear the official here. There was a personal foul on Freedom. That penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. So here you hopefully add the extra point by Garrett Walloway. Get a 7-point lead, and then with still 1:01 to play, just boot it out of the end zone.
We await the extra point. Here's the snap. The kick is up, and it's blocked yet again. The second one blocked tonight, so it's no good. After that, the score is Marinette 27, Freedom 21 with 1 minute left in this first half kit.
Yeah, and Luke Johnson on fire here and hitting receivers that are, a lot of them have been wide open too, but he's delivering the pigskin to them and spreading the wealth around too. A lot of different receivers, tight ends, running backs catching the ball for Marinette. And can't emphasize this enough, Freedom in 5 games atop the conference only have allowed 38 points in 5 games. Marinette has 27 in the first half and lead the Irish by 6. And now the key thing is here, don't let up. Don't allow a big return a cheap score at the end of this first half. Go into the locker room up by 6 points. You get the ball back to start the second half, and Freedom's going to have they're going to have some a lot to discuss at the intermission.
There's a lot of head shaking going on over there. They haven't been in this position all year long.
Not even close.
Not even close. And you know what? We've been talking about the players making big plays tonight. How about the coaches?
Yeah, and Freedom plays Wrightstown next week. I think we're running into a team that's looking ahead.
I think you may be right. And also we're running into a team in Marinette that is starting to gel, it looks like.
Yeah, and they have nothing to lose, and they're pulling out all the stops, and they are executing here tonight.
Garrett Wallaway gets set to kick off. Gets his leg into a big kick hit all the way into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback.
Now keep in mind that we kicked from midfield.
Still, come on, don't rain on my parade.
Nonetheless, he did what he had to do. You don't want their dangerous return man returning the pigskin.
First down and 10 for Freedom at their own 20-yard line. They trail. Good thing to say, 27-21 to the Marinette Marines with 1 minute, 1 second left in this first half. Big turn of events here tonight. Wide receiver screen to the right. Blocked well, but Marinette converges and takes them down after 4-yard gain.
And Freedom has 3 timeouts left, and I think they're going to use one right here.
So they're actually going to keep trying. They have 50 seconds left.
And I don't blame them. I mean, you got a high-powered offense, and they can score quickly. And I'm sure Coach Walters is letting his defense know that you can't, even though you're ahead by 6 points here, you haven't played the entire first half yet. There's still almost a minute to go. Don't allow a score here at the end of the quarter.
You know what's interesting? I don't know if he's hurt. I know he's out there. I don't know if he's not feeling well or what. But Gonering, the last couple series, they kind of went away from him. They had a couple different backs come in and run the ball the last series. And because he has 87 yards and 10 carries, but those all came
in the first 6 minutes of the game.
It seemed like last week to me.
Yeah, he has all 3 of their touchdowns. But like we said, they came early, and that's interesting because I didn't see him favoring anything.
Me either, but
not a hit or anything. So we'll try to keep an eye on that.
It's surprising they get different running backs in there when you have him. Marinette chomping at the bit. Look at this. A timeout. The defense is already ready to roll. The offense isn't even out there yet.
Yeah,
a lot of energy going on with the purple right now.
Yeah, 2 timeouts left for Freedom. They have a long ways to go here.
Marinette playing it smart. Have 2 safeties back for help. Here's the snap. Jaden looks to go deep. Has a little pressure. He fires deep. He has a man. Hipke gets in there, and I think he knocks it down. It hit the ground. I could see it. That's right in front of me. Let's see what the refs call it.
Now they're saying it was complete.
It did, and it hit the ground. I could see it hit the ground, but they were behind him. They didn't get to see that.
Yeah, the official, unfortunately, was not in the... They're not where he should have been. The whole crowd can see it now. A couple of the officials, hopefully they'll get it right here.
That was a terrible call. I mean, I don't blame them, though. They were in a bad spot.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have been in a bad spot.
They shouldn't have been, but it was a horrible spot. I could see it.
The officials are gathering here. Let's see if one will overrule the other.
That ball hit the ground. I could see it.
I think they're going to say it was incomplete. Let's see here. There we go.
And the crowd goes crazy.
Right. They got it right.
They got it right. Give them credit.
Yep, exactly. Couldn't pay me enough to do that job.
Not at all. But where it happened is directly in front of me. I could see Hipke came in, knocked it through, and it hit the ground. I could see it very easily.
What concerned me about that, though, is that you're not wearing stripes.
I'm staying up here. I'm not doing that.
Neither are the fans below us.
I'm not going anywhere.
There's only a few that count out there when it comes to making a decision, and that's, of course, those zebras.
You know what? It's 3rd down and 5. If they're going to keep throwing the ball and they don't get this, Marinette could get the ball back in good field position with like 35 seconds left yet.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see what happens
here.
3rd down and 5 from their own 25.
Big 3rd down play.
Jaden drops back. He's looking deep. He has a lot of time. Fires an out route. Oh, the Marines are there, and they almost pick it off, but they knock it down.
James Jagelski got there at the same time as the ball did, and once again, Marinette doing a great job on defense, and there's going to be 4th down and 5, and still 35 seconds to play in the first half. Now, Marinette has no timeouts left, but hey, who knows? You got James Jagelski as a return man. We saw what Marinette can do at the end of a half against O'Connell Falls a week ago, so
all they have to do, if they do get the ball back, no timeouts, Luke Johnson can do a rollout. He can just throw it away.
Yeah, and we'll see Jagelski is backed up at his own 45-yard line. Marinette should get it in pretty good shape here.
Do they dare kick it right to him? They do. Calls for a fair catch. Marinette will take over at their own 42-yard line with 29 seconds left.
Wise move by Jagelski to call the fair catch, and they got it because Freedom was all over him. So at the 43-yard line, their own 43 is where the Marines have it. And let's see, the clock has ticked down to, as you mentioned, 29 seconds. So, well,
what is this? What's the usual play call in this situation?
Jonte Webb.
That or hook and ladder sometimes too.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That works sometimes too.
Yeah. Well, if they're going deep into the playbook, and really the Marines, I shouldn't say they've been doing that. They did do the double reverse. Otherwise, it's been pretty much what they usually run.
1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line. Right up the middle in a big hole, 7-yard gain.
Yeah, with no timeouts left, if the Marines do want to, they'll have to hustle here because inside of 20 seconds and the clock is rolling. So
I think they're just going to take. That's smart, actually. I mean, be confident. They're going to let the clock run down.
And a standing ovation from the Parents' Night crowd here.
Standing ovation.
Well deserved.
Very well deserved. The crowd's on their feet, giving them a huge round of applause, and the Marinette Marines head to the locker room, leading the number 5 Freedom Irish 27-21 at halftime. Kit and I will tally up some stats and be right back on Sports Radio 570.
Prestige Auto Body and Truck Repair has over 25 years of experience to make your repairs fast, easy, and worry-free. With around-the-clock towing, electronic estimating, early drop-off, pickup, delivery, and the comfort of knowing Prestige Auto Body and Truck Repair is an I-Car Gold Class shop, one of only 25 in the state. Located on the corner of Highway 64 and 180 in Marinette. Call 715-732-4544. That's 715-732-4544 to get your estimate today. Prestige Auto Body and Truck Repair. They take the worry out of your collision repair.
Peshtigo National Bank, your locally owned independent community bank, supports all local high school sports. Since opening in 1901, they've grown to 5 locations in Peshtigo, Coleman, Oconto Falls, Gillett, and Marinette. Hometown banking with your neighbors and friends, Peshtigo National Bank has proudly served the community for over 100 years. Locally owned community banks support and help fund local projects. Keep your banking local and speak with a representative today. Good luck to all area high school teams from Peshtigo National Bank, member FDIC.
Here at PCM Credit Union, we are one of the few employee-based credit unions left in Wisconsin that provides a unique club-like atmosphere for its membership. We serve the employees of select companies and their families. We choose to remain this way so that we can do more and provide more financial options for our members' owners. We're now located right in your community. Come visit us at 1740 Stevenson Street in Marinette to find out the benefits you could receive by becoming a member owner of PCMCU. Or to learn how you may join, visit PCMCU.com. We're people caring more, investing in you, growing together. Membership eligibility required. Equal housing opportunity, member NCUA.
Go west on 180 at the holiday to save on cars and trucks every day. You're sure to save a bundle when you take that drive west on 180 to the riverside. You get to the roundabout, make sure you yield. Don't go straight cause it's all cornfields. Just turn left when you see that sign. Come on in to the riverside. We'll find what you're looking for. Just show up at our front door. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram trucks. No overhead seats, you big bucks. Come take a ride. If you dare out with the cows in the country air. You save big money on your next ride when you see your friends at Riverside. From the west, take 64 until you get to our front door in Marinette. You're sure to save a bundle when you take that drive. One way or another, get to Riverside. One way or another, get to Riverside.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium, where the Marinette Marines lead the Freedom Irish 27-21 at halftime.
Repeat that.
27-21, Marinette at halftime.
You heard right. Yeah, and Freedom 5-0 and ranked in the top 10, in the top 5 actually in the state, and Marinette up by 6 points here at halftime. They're down big too, down 21-7, but all of a sudden 20 unanswered for the purple and white.
21-7 after the first quarter. Marinette storms back. Let's go through the scoring summary right now. In the first quarter, at the 11:18 mark, Freedom started the scoring with a 6-yard touchdown run by Isaac Gonering. The extra point was good, and it was 7-0. At the 7:49 mark, Gonering struck again. This time from 5 yards out. The extra point was good, and it was 14-0. At the 6:03 mark, Marinette struck. 47-yard touchdown pass from Luke Johnson to James Jagelski. The extra point was good, and the score was 14-7. The Freedom Irish came right back at the 2:53 mark. They scored on a 30-yard touchdown run, again by Isaac Gonering. That man again, the extra point was good, and it was 21-7, and things weren't looking so good at that point, and things weren't feeling that great around here at that point.
Exactly, down by 14 points, and Marinette was showing no signs on defense that they could slow down or stop or even slow down the Freedom Irish.
But things started to change at the 8:25 mark in the second quarter. A 24-yard touchdown pass from Luke Johnson to Jonte Webb. The extra point was good. Actually, it was no good. It was 21-13. And then at the 5:32 mark, we had a 57-yard touchdown run by James Jagelski. They tried the 2-point conversion, and it was good from Luke Johnson to Jonte Webb. That made the score 21-21, and we had a ball game on our hands.
And that was a double reverse where Jagelski scored going down the left sidelines.
And then with 1 minute left in the first half, Marinette struck again. An 11-yard touchdown pass from Luke Johnson to Nathan Paris. The extra point was blocked. And the score at halftime is Marinette 27, Freedom 21.
And Luke Johnson, as mentioned, the 3 touchdown passes, spreading the wealth out with 3 different receivers, catching those touchdown passes. And the Marines keeping Freedom's defense honest by getting a little bit of a ground game going as well. And you'll go through those stats. And obviously Jagelski had the big run of 50-some yards that was on a reverse. But even just the between the tackle runs, the Marines were making some hay, getting 3-4 yards and 5 yards. And it doesn't seem like a whole lot when you're getting, say, 3 or 4 yards. But it was enough to keep Freedom's defense honest and kind of open some other things up in the playbook.
That's right. For individual stats for the Marines, James Jagelski has 10 carries for 73 yards, 1 touchdown. Dalton Weisgerber, 3 carries, 9 yards. Connor Nelson, 6 carries, 39 yards. And Luke Johnson had that one big carry where he pulled it down and took off the left side. He got 33 yards.
And that was on I think it was like a 3rd and 2 right around maybe midfield or so. And you're right, that was a huge play.
Huge play in this game. Marinette, here's some stats for you. Talk about being balanced. 154 yards rushing and 160 yards passing. Can't get much better than that.
Oh, that's just what the doctor ordered right there.
That's right. Luke Johnson tonight, he's attempted 15 passes. He has completed 8 of them for 160 yards and 3 big touchdowns. Receiving.
And 0 interceptions, too.
That's right. He's been doing really well tonight, just managing the game and taking what the play is and not forcing anything. He really hasn't put his teammates in any kind of trouble tonight at all.
You got that right.
Jonte Webb has 1 reception, 24 yards and a touchdown. Nathan Paris, 2 for 36 yards and a touchdown. And James Jagelski, 2 receptions, 73 yards and 1 touchdown. Connor Nelson has 1 catch for 6 yards. So you're talking about juice. He has 73 yards receiving and 73 yards rushing right now. 73, yep.
Very balanced, I would say.
For the Freedom Irish tonight. 125 yards rushing, most of that came early, and 119 yards passing right now. Isaac Gonering, 10 carries, 87 yards, and 3 touchdowns. They all came in the first quarter.
And think about it. Gonering's 3rd touchdown was the touchdown where everybody, at least from Marinette, and I think half of Freedom's team, thought that the play was dead.
That's right.
His knee was down or his elbow or something was down, but he kept on going, and the officials said he was never down, and he ran about 30 yards untouched with nobody even trying to tackle him into the end zone. Otherwise, this could be 27 to maybe 14 here at halftime.
Yeah, that's right. And that score by him happened at the 2:53 mark, so they have not scored since the 2:53 mark of the first quarter.
And they really haven't. Well, you have some other stats to get to, but they really haven't even moved the ball all that well. And thanks, obviously, to Marinette's great job defensively.
Seth Dockstader, the receiver, has 3 carries, 15 yards. Alex Gehring, 1 carry, 11 yards. Brett Scheibel, 1 carry, 12. Charles Jaden, the quarterback, has attempted 12 passes. He's completed 5, 1 interception for 119 yards. Seth Dockstader has 53 yards and 2 catches. Avery Van Stralen has 1 catch, 6 yards. Colton Heenan, 1 for 28. And that's where we are at halftime. Marinette 27, Freedom 21.
Yeah, a few other numbers here unofficially. I got Freedom for 8 first downs. Marinette with 7 penalties. Freedom was hurt with some early penalties, and they were penalized 4 times for 55 yards. Marinette 4 times for 30 yards. And Marinette 0 turnovers. That is huge. And meanwhile, Freedom with 2 turnovers. Both times they were deep in the Marinette territory. The interception by Jagelski, then also Dockstader fumbled inside the 15-yard line as well. So that thwarted a couple of potential scores by Freedom, and Marinette up by 6 here at halftime. And time now for our weekly feature here, the halftime interview. Eric Bergstrom catching up with one of the Marinette Marines. This time around, we go to the O-line and Zach May, and here's Eric talking to him here on Sports Radio 570.
Eric Bergstrom here with the Marinette Marines, Zach May. Zach, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure.
The team got its first win last Friday against O'Connell Falls. What do you think were some of the keys to the victory?
There's a lot. Our offense was really rolling. Our defense was clicking, but I think the biggest factor was our confidence level. We came in really confident, and we expected to win more than any other week this year, and I think that was a big factor right there.
There were a lot of players, like you said, that starred in the game, but I think one of the biggest stars in the game was the offensive line. How do you feel the offensive line is coming along at this point in the season?
I think we really came a long way. Compared to like week 1, if you watch film from our opponent Fox Valley Lutheran when we played them into now, we've came a long way and we've really improved, and I think we're going to keep improving, and I'm really proud of that.
How does it feel to know that if you do give them space and time, that you have the playmakers to make the other team pay?
It feels great. That's what I'm always confident in that, because I know we have great playmakers in the backfield, and it all starts with us. We need to give them holes and give our quarterback time, and they can make plays.
After working so hard in the off season and in practice as well during the season, tell me how it feels to finally get that reward of your first win.
It feels great. I mean, I want to say it's about time, but it's just really rewarding, like you said, and knowing that we put in so much work as a team and as a group, and I think the team, it feels great for us. It's awesome.
What was the bus ride back to Marinette like after that game?
It was nice. We were really excited to celebrate the victory. We've been hungry for a while for this win, so it was just the atmosphere. It was great. It was, exactly how you'd probably picture it to be.
Does winning make the next week better at school, at practice, and just better in general?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, and with like I said, it's a comp. And I think this win helped with our confidence going forward, and I'm really excited about that.
Are the players on the offensive line close, and do you think that's important for you guys being successful? Are you close on and off the field?
I don't think we were close before the season started, but now that we're all a group, I think we really got close, and it's really helping. But yeah, we're getting a lot closer.
What's game day like at Marinette High School?
Well, we have a great we have great fans and, a great community. There's a lot of purple in the school on Fridays, and it's awesome. People dress around with long socks, purple, anything purple, you can name it, but it's awesome. I love our fans, and I love the community. It's great.
Talk to me about Marinette's student section. What do they mean to you and your teammates during the week and also during the game? Because they can be very loud. They have pictures of you guys. They really get into it. Yeah,
they mean a lot to me. I love, one of the biggest things to me after a victory is seeing the fans after the game. It means so much to them, and I like making them proud.
They were so excited this Friday. I saw people all over Twitter and Facebook putting up pictures and everything talking about the game, so it meant a lot to them.
Yep, it was awesome.
One of the biggest Marines fans around, as we all know, is Randy. How does your team feel about Randy?
We love Randy. He's been doing this for, I think, about 35 years. He's a legend, honestly. Ideal Marine fan. He bleeds purple, and
What do you need to do as a team to build on the win against O'Connell Falls?
Building on confidence, and we all came together as a team, and I think we're going to continue to do that. And I think that we have a lot of momentum going into this game, and I think we're really going to compete.
Talking about you personally, who's your favorite NFL player and why?
Well, you probably hear this a lot, but Aaron Rodgers.
I do hear it a lot.
I'm actually going to the Packer game tonight with Luke.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun to watch him. But yeah, I don't think anyone can do what he does, and he's my favorite player.
Talking about Luke, I've been talking to all your teammates and finding out like their Twitter handle and things like that. We've been having a good time. Yours is Toadman, right?
Yeah.
What? Tell me about that. How'd you get that nickname?
Well, let's see. It all started, there's the man at the end, all these nicknames, and it all started with our inside linebacker and one of my best friends, Kevin Canine. He's Frogman because he has this towel that he always takes with him swimming. It has a bunch of frogs on it, and we started calling him Frogman. And then, seeing that I'm good friends with him, they just started calling me Toadman, and then we came up with all these other nicknames for everyone, like Luke is
Birdman.
And James is Juice Man, and we just have all these nicknames. It's kind of cool.
It's really awesome. I'm sure it brings you guys together, and it's nice for us, because, for me and Kit doing a broadcast, and it's also nice for the fans to get to know more about you guys. That's why we're doing these interviews. And actually, I've started incorporating some of the names during the broadcast. Like this week, when James caught that touchdown, I actually said Juice on the air, and I think I said Birdman at some point during the game. So.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. What is your favorite thing about playing high school football?
My favorite thing, I don't know. I've always loved football. I've just loved the game. And probably my favorite thing about high school football is playing with my friends that I grew up with and my best friends.
Well, Zach, thanks a lot for joining me today, and good luck on Friday.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
Welcome back to Marinette Marines football. The Marines lead 27-21.
Yeah, and the Toadman and company up front are doing a great job on the offensive line, and whatever you call them, those guys are having a whale of a game here. As you mentioned, 27-21, and I'm sure Coach Walters emphasizing to his troops at halftime that, hey, haven't won anything yet. It's only halfway through here. But keep doing what you're doing. And meanwhile, as far as Freedom is concerned, well, they're probably, their coaches have got to be scratching their heads a little bit, saying, well, man, weren't expecting this. Or maybe they were a little bit, but sometimes with 16, 17, 18-year-olds, they may be looking ahead to Wrightstown, who they have next week, and both teams are undefeated. But if things keep going the way they're going, well, Freedom may no longer be undefeated in about an hour or so.
That's right, and I'm not just saying this because I'm in purple right now, but it actually hasn't even been close since that third touchdown by Freedom. Marinette's been making it look easy on offense. The defense has been playing really well, but on offense, They've been making it look so easy. The players are so wide open right now.
Right, and the question is, can that continue? Will Freedom make any kind of adjustments? And if so, can Marinette combat that? Time will tell here. But you are right. Ever since Freedom, it appeared the route could be on because it was 21-7, and that was in the first quarter. And Freedom was basically moving up and down the field at will. Then they got a couple of turnovers, and Marinette started to get some confidence by moving the ball. Primarily, the passing game opened up the running game. And you can just, obviously, with the win last week, the confidence level of Marinette went up by leaps and bounds. But it's getting bigger and bigger even as this game has progressed, and now up by 6 points, and Marinette will have the football to start the second half. And key thing, obviously, you got to keep playing that strong defense, and also Marinette winning. Whoever wins the turnover battle, a lot of times, I don't care what level of football you're playing at, not always, but a lot of times, you're going to win the game. Right now, Marinette on top 2-0 in the turnover battle.
That's right. Marinette playing very well right now, and the second half is just about ready to get underway. Talking about the offense, one thing they need to do is stay in good down and distances as well. Like after that first series where they had that penalty, they've really been in favorable down and distances.
And we mentioned before that a lot of it was just getting on first down, getting a 3 or 4 yard pickup, whether it's Jagelski, Weisgerber, whoever, Connor Nelson. If you get 3-4 yards, all of a sudden you're at 2nd and 6, as opposed to 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 12. And, man, then it doesn't look as, that defense doesn't look quite as imposing.
That's right. It sets the table, really.
Yeah.
It sets the table for your play call, and you can do certain kind of plays, misdirection plays, but when it's 3rd and 15 or 2nd and 15.
Well, here we go. The dangerous James Jagelski ready to return it, and let's see if Freedom elects to kick it in number 21's direction or not.
We are ready for the kickoff to the second half. Here we go. Here's the kick. It's on the ground. Connor Nelson jumps on it. Marinette will take over at the 27-yard line. Either he missed that or they didn't want to kick to him.
So the answer may have been no, as far as whether they wanted to kick it anywhere near James Jagelski. But hey, Marinette will gladly take it at their own 27-yard line to get things going here in the third quarter. And they got to just be beaming with all kinds of confidence right now.
Keep attacking. Play how you played in the first half. Marinette comes out. 2 receivers split to the left. 1 to the right. Luke Johnson hands it off to Jagelski. Off the right side, he has room, cuts it up inside. Nice pickup on first down, just what we said, a 6-yard pickup.
Exactly, that first down play is so important, and getting 5-6 yards on the first play, and here you go. Maybe it might be closer to 7 yards. It's about 2nd down and 3, and Jagelski's been averaging close to 7 yards on the season, and that's exactly what he averaged in the first half, with 10 carries for 73 yards, well, 7.3 to be exact.
2nd down and 2 for the Marines. Jonte Webb split left. Here we go. Here's the handoff. Jagelski up the middle again, has room yet again, and he has another Marinette Marine first down with a big 5-yard pickup.
You know, and James, it seems like he was maybe about just a fraction away from breaking that thing. I thought he was going to high-step his way out of one of those tackles, and he's been known to do that before.
I cannot get over this offensive line right now. They are creating huge holes right now for Marinette.
Yeah, and we've been giving them some props with, and they should be getting those laurels.
First down and 10 from their own 43. Weisgerber in motion. Johnson fumbles the ball. Freedom is on it. It was kind of like an option, but he lost the handle, and the Irish take over.
There's the great equalizer. We talked about turnovers, and Marinette had none in the first half, and here in the opening possession of the second half, they fumble the football, and Freedom will have it in good shape in Marinette territory at the 35-yard line.
First down and 10 for the Irish at the Marines' 35-yard line. 10 minutes, 55 seconds left in the third quarter. Marinette 27, Freedom 21. Up the middle they go with Gonering, and he is pushing the pile for an extra about 5 yards all the way to the sticks.
Yeah, it can be very near a first down, and Gonering had a huge first quarter. He was silent in the second quarter because most of Freedom's offense was quiet in the second quarter, but they come out strong here in their first play from scrimmage in the third quarter and get a first down.
What you don't want to do is give them their confidence back. First down and 10 at Marinette's 25-yard line. Freedom going left to right on your sports radio, 570 radio dial. Here's the snap. Gonering again. He's met instantly. Taken down. I think Blaine Schmeckel got in there again. He's had a big game for the Marines tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And Schmeckel came up, and like you said, he hit, or actually they call it Hipke according to the PA man, Corey Lambie, but Hipke got there at the exact instant that Gonering got the football.
They lost the yard. It's 2nd down and 11 from the 26-yard line. 10 minutes, 9 seconds left in the third quarter. Here's the snap. They fake it to the up back, look to go deep. He lets it go. He has a man at the 15. Dockstader has it. Marinette drives him back, but forward progress will take him to the 13-yard line.
Yeah, Jonte Webb with the tackling. Great. It was almost like he was tackling a tackling dummy the way he got him and he was driving him back. I think the official finally blew the whistle.
13-yard pickup there. First down and 10 from the 12-yard line for the Irish. One receiver split left, everybody else in tight. Jaden has it. He gives it to Gonering. There's a hole. He breaks out to the right side. Touchdown, Freedom.
He was kind of missing in action in the second quarter, but he has resurfaced here big time in this third quarter, and all of a sudden we're tied at 27. And taking advantage of the turnover, the Freedom Irish tie things up, and they have a chance to take the lead here with 9:36 to play here in this third quarter. And Gonnering, I think he's over 100 yards now, but he had
107.
Yeah, he had about 80 in the first quarter.
We await the extra point. There's a flag on the field. An 11-yard touchdown run by Isaac Gonnering. That's his 4th touchdown tonight. They say that Juice was in the neutral zone.
Yeah, still enforce that on the kickoff.
Adam Schomer gets ready to kick the extra point for the Irish. Here's the snap. The kick is up, and the kick is good. That brings the score to Freedom 28, Marinette 27. We'll take a quick break and be back on Sports Radio 570.
Looking for a credit union that truly cares about you and the community you live in? Then you ought to stop and see the folks at Bayshore Credit Union. Membership is open to anyone living or working in Marinette, Menominee, and Oconto counties. Whether it's everyday banking, a new auto loan, new mortgage, even a consolidation loan, they can help. And it's never too early to start establishing good credit. Bayshore Credit Union, located at 1514 Cleveland Avenue, Marinette. They're looking forward to meeting you.
Welcome back to Marinette Marine Football. Freedom capitalizes on the fumble and scores to begin the third quarter, and they lead 28-27.
Well, it could be that kind of a game here with a momentum shift after Marinette had on their side for the whole second quarter. Now in the third quarter, Freedom back on top, and let's see how Marinette responds after the turnover.
Here's the kick. Right to Jagelski. He's at the 5. He goes left, hops, jumps, taken down. He was trying his best to get some room, but all he could do is get to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, good coverage by Freedom against the very dangerous James Jagelski.
So with 9 minutes, 29 seconds left the third quarter, Marinette takes over. First down and 10 at their own 18-yard line. They'll be traveling right to left on your Sports Radio 570 radio dial.
Well, on Marinette's first possession of this third quarter, they had a good first down play, and then they had the fumble. So let's see what happens here in the second possession.
2 receivers split to the right. Nathan Paris, Jonte Webb in motion. Weisgerber, they give it to him. He cuts it up the middle. He has some room. He breaks it off to the left side to the 30. Beautiful run by Dalton Weisgerber. A big pickup of 13 yards.
Now, you mentioned earlier on one of his carries in the first half that he's kind of like a battering ram, and there he goes. He bounces off of one of the Freedom would-be tacklers, and the guy didn't wrap up, and Dalton just kind of did a little spin move and bounced off of him and got additional yards and got the first down. Got a whistle here for some reason.
We have an official timeout, it looks like.
I think they're
equipment.
On Weisgerber's helmet, maybe something with a chin strap. His teammates are helping him along here.
Tonight's broadcast brought to you by North Motorsports, the area's only full-line dealer of Honda, Can-Am, Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Snapper outdoor products. And we are back underway. Jonte Webb split to the right. Luke Johnson gets it, hands it off to Weisgerber. He again tries to go up the middle, and he fumbles Kit.
Yes, he did, and Freedom is pointing that they've got the football.
And they do. Unless he says he was on the ground. It was close. They're talking about it.
Let's hope it's overruled here.
Marinette needs this break.
They do. Yeah, and they got the break. That's a huge break.
Wow. I thought he was down, actually, on first glance. But
yeah, it was tough to tell from this vantage point. But tell you what, Marinette playing with fire right there. Got to protect that pigskin.
I think they just need to calm down a little bit. They're only down by 1. 28-27, Freedom. Now they change it, Kit.
Yeah, Freedom, I see them going crazy across the way.
So Freedom will take over at the 32-yard line of Marinette, almost the same spot they took over before on the last fumble.
Well, that's two possessions and 2 turnovers here early in this third quarter for Marinette, and can they handle the adversity here, down by 1 point? And now Freedom in great shape.
First down and 10 for the Irish at Marinette's 32-yard line. Doc Stater in the slot. They hand it to Gonering, and he's wrapped up almost immediately. He pushes forward. He might have picked up 3.
Here's where the defense really needs to step up. I mean, down by 1 point, but the big thing is you got the big momentum shift. Freedom with 2 excellent starting positions, thanks to forcing turnovers on Marinette here in this third quarter and giving this team a short field. And you're asking for trouble.
Playing with fire. Let's see if they can come up big. 8 minutes, 33 seconds left in the third quarter. Here's the snap. A pitch this time to Gonering. He has a lot of room, and there he goes. 10-5 touchdown. Isaac Gonering from 29 yards out. And that is his 5th touchdown of the night.
The young man's having a night, that is for sure. And 5 scores for him. And once again, Freedom takes advantage of a miscue by the Marinette Marines. And Marinette will need to respond. And we know after what we saw in the first half, we know they're more than capable.
We await the extra point. Adam Schomer puts a leg into it. It's blocked. That's a big play. That keeps the score to a 7-point lead now. That's a big play for Marinette.
Might have been Jesse Johnson. I could be wrong, but I think it was Jesse Johnson who got that.
Did he get through?
I believe so.
That's a big play. That brings the score to Freedom 34. Marinette 27 with 8 minutes, 22 seconds left, third quarter.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That is huge. And they're down by 7 instead of 8 points. But time to weather the storm. I mean, you had 2 terrible possessions, obviously with 2 fumbles, and Freedom takes advantage of both of them with the short field, and they punch it in. And I tell you, Gonering, he was quiet in that second quarter. Why they didn't give him the ball in the second quarter, who knows? But the coaches for Freedom have decided, okay, well, he's our guy.
Yeah.
And they weren't getting it done throwing the football, and Gonering well over 100 yards already in this ball game. And like you said, the 5 big scores.
What do they say? Dance with who brought you there? That's what they should do. Ride their horse.
Yeah.
Here's the kick. It hits at the 15. Nate Paris tried to pick it up, but he had his knee down, so Marinette will start at the 16-yard line, it looks like.
Yeah, that's one of those tough plays because you're just trying to, obviously you'd like to scoop it up without going down to the knee, but sometimes your first reaction is to go down and your knee inadvertently hits the turf.
So first down and 10 at their own 17-yard line. Marinette trails now 34-27 with 8 minutes, 21 seconds left in the third quarter. Jonte Webb split to the lot. Luke Johnson barking out the signals. There's a handoff. Jagelski tried to go off the left side, nothing doing. Right back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the Freedom defense are really swarming on that carry, and about 4 or 5 Freedom Irish corralling James on that play.
Second down and 10 for the Marines at their own 17-yard line.
Yeah, the defense for Freedom was shell-shocked in the second quarter. I think the best thing that happened to them was halftime.
It looks that way. Jonte Webb split to the right. Luke Johnson awaits the snap. He gets it, drops back, and he fires to the right side, and it's intercepted. It bounced off the receiver, high in the air, and Freedom with another turnover.
Yeah, like you said, it bounced off the receiver, and Luke got hit just as he threw it. That wasn't why it was picked off, though. Like you said, it was off the hands of the receiver, and the old tip drill. And there's Freedom to force the third turnover in less than 4 minutes here in this third quarter.
Wow, what a nightmare start to the second half.
Less than 5 minutes, I should say. And once again, they got a short field, and they got a chance to add another score here real quick.
First down and 10 from Marinette's 19-yard line. Ben Stralin out to the right. They fake it to the up back. He rolls out to the right. Jaden looks for somebody. Fires short. He fires it short, and he brings it back into the middle of the field all the way to the goal line, and it's a touchdown. How that happened, I'm not quite sure. It was a 6-yard out, and he sort of maneuvered his way into the middle of the field and just kept going all the way to the end zone, and that is a touchdown for Freedom.
Exactly, and the receiver who got the football just moved to the middle of the field, and kind of like a parting of the Red Sea there.
Brady Brazel on that catch, one of the running backs. The extra point is good. The score is now Freedom 41, Marinette 27. We'll take a quick break and be right back on Sports Radio 570.
Kim Barrett and all the staff of Tri-City Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine of Marinette are committed to get you back to your quality of life. Tri-City Physical Therapy has been in business for over 25 years and specialize in the treatment of shoulder, knee, and back, as well as general physical therapy. Let them help you overcome pain after an injury or disease. Tri-City Therapy and Sports can provide you with the most skilled and personalized rehabilitation treatment plan possible to help you get back on track. Tri-City Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine at 602 Wells Street in Marinette.
Welcome back to Higley Stadium, where Marinette finds themselves trailing now 41-27.
Marinette was down 21-7 in the first half, down by 14 points. Now all of a sudden they're down by that same amount here in this third quarter. We'll see if they have another rally in them. But man, when you get 3 turnovers on 3 consecutive possessions, makes it awfully tough.
Here's the kick. It's on the right side. Marinette. Dalton Weisgerber has it, brings it to the middle of the field, all the way to the 28-yard line, and that's where Marinette will take over with 7 minutes, 12 seconds left in the third quarter. We're not even halfway through the third quarter, and it's been just a nightmare so far.
Yeah, it certainly has been. With 3 straight turnovers for the Marines, and the key thing is hopefully that you're not thinking about it, because if it gets in your head, then the wheels could really come off here for the Marines.
Freedom with 3 quick touchdowns, all aided by turnovers. And they lead now 41-27. Split to the right, Jonte Webb in motion. Connor Nelson, Luke Johnson back, under pressure, and he's met by about 4 Freedom players and taken down.
Yeah, Luke was not sacked at all, I don't believe, in the first half, and now Freedom doing everything right here in this third quarter.
That was really a coverage sack because he had time. It's just that the defensive backs did a good job of covering all the wide receivers on that play. So Marinette has a 2nd down and 16 at their own 23-yard line. 6 minutes, 37 seconds left in the third quarter, and they trail 41-27. Jonte Webb goes out to the right side. Everybody else in tight. Weisgerber in motion. They give it to Jagelski right up the middle. Not too much there. Maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, second and 16, just a safe call there. And now you got 3rd and long.
Jagelski has 87 yards on 14 carries now. It's 3rd down and 14 for the Marines with 6 minutes, 5 seconds left in the third quarter.
Not really sure if Freedom made any adjustments at halftime defensively. I think it's just a matter of the execution part of it.
That's right. Jonte Webb to the left this time. He's covered there by Alex Gehring. Johnson back. They set up a screen to Connor Nelson. He has room, but he's met. Out of nowhere came Brody Brazil, actually, and he came out of nowhere and took him down.
Yeah, Connor had a couple of blockers out there, but the play seemed like it didn't have time to develop, mainly because of, as you mentioned, Brazil, who just came in there and kind of knifed his way right between two would-be blockers and made the tackle and stopped the play in its tracks.
That brings up 4th down and 7 for the Marines at their own 33-yard line. Gonering is back. Marinette kicks it to him. He gets it at the 45. He's met there. He spins, goes out to the right side. Goes back to the left side, and now he has room. He's at the 40. At the 50, he has a blocker. At the 40, at the 30. Cuts back inside, 20, 10, 5. I think he was pushed out of bounds at the 2.
Well,
what a return by Gonering.
And in reality, he should have been stopped right around his own 41-yard line where he caught the ball. But somehow he escaped from a couple of tacklers and would-be tacklers that got him to the outside after he made a little spin move. And, he wasn't down on that one touchdown in the first half. And, he doesn't go down easy. He's got great balance.
Not easy at all. Not by a long shot. He was pushed out of bounds at the 4-yard line. That's where they'll take over. 1st down and 4. 1st down and goal. With 4 minutes, 53 seconds left in the third quarter. Here's the snap. They give it to him right up the middle. Looks like he might be a little short.
No indication yet, at least not from the official.
Now they say touchdown.
The Freedom players were signaling touchdown, and now the official does it. And is that 6 touchdowns for Ghana right now?
6 touchdowns. A 4-yard touchdown run there at the 4:42 mark of the third quarter. That's the fourth. That's the fourth touchdown now tonight in the third quarter for Freedom. The extra point is up. The extra point is good. The score is now Freedom 48, Marinette 27. We'll take a quick break and be back on Sports Radio 570. Bayside Motorsports and Cycle is your full-line service destination, servicing most makes and models of ATVs and motorcycles, from a simple tune-up and oil change to major and overhauls. Their expanded service department will have you back on your machine fast. Bayside Motorsports and Cycle also specializes in motorcycle and ATV performance work to keep you a step above your competition. Ask about their service specials. Bayside Motorsports and Cycle in Green Bay or at BaysideMotorsports.com. Welcome back to Higley Stadium, where we've had a nightmarish third quarter. 4 touchdowns by the Freedom Irish. Some aided by turnovers, one by a punt return, and really good field position.
Yeah, it's as ugly as it can be for Marinette after just a wonderful first half when they had 27-21 at the intermission, and especially a great second quarter. But things have just changed dramatically here in this third quarter. And like you said, with those 3 turnovers and 3 touchdowns off of those for Freedom, plus a long punt return, setting up the latest score by one Isaac Gonering.
They haven't had to go far this third quarter at all. 30-some yards is about their longest drive. Here's the kickoff. Marinette gets it at the 5. They throw backwards, and they lose the ball, and Freedom picks it up, and it's another touchdown. Marinette tried some trickery, fumbled, and Tanner Brockman picks up the gift and walks into the end zone.
Well, I guess put this third quarter under the category of whatever can go wrong is going wrong.
That's right.
Wow, and that's 4 turnovers and now 1 on special teams for the Marinette Marines, and just like that, they've been doubled up here, 54-27. What has happened?
I'm not sure. If I had an answer, I'd let you know, but I have nothing right now. A fumble return for a touchdown at the 4:31 mark.
What a turn of events.
And we await the extra point, yet another extra point. This would be the 5th one of the quarter. Here's the kick. It's up. And it's good. The score is now Freedom 55, Marinette 27. I'm shocked right now. I can't believe there's still 4 minutes and 31 seconds left in this quarter.
Well, I think in that second quarter, Marinette kind of woke up a sleeping giant here, because Marinette, now if you just tuned in, Marinette was down 21-7 at the end of the first quarter, but Marinette stormed back, and they were ahead 27-21 at halftime.
And had the ball.
Yeah, and like Eric just said, with and not even 8 minutes gone here in the third quarter, 5 touchdowns for Freedom, and just like that, they're ahead 55-27, aided by, of course, 4 turnovers on the Marines. And
I think the worst possible thing that happened was that first drive, Marinette fumbling, because they had the ball, they had a good first play, and they were right around the 40-yard line. They were in a good spot to have a nice little drive.
Yeah, but even that, you give up a score there, it's 28-27, and but it just snowballed from there. I mean,
not much else to say about that. Here's the kickoff, off to the left side. Nate Harris brings it up the middle, and he is taken down at the 23-yard line. And that's where Marinette will take over. First down and 10 with 4 minutes, 26 seconds left in the third quarter.
Talk about the air being taken out of the whole crowd here. I mean, with this Parents' Night crowd is just going crazy in the first half, and everybody's kind of in a state of shock right now here in this third quarter.
Including you and I would say, right?
Okay. Exactly. We were thinking upset.
We sure were. Marinette has the ball. Up the middle they go, and they're taken down, and Freedom is fired up right now.
Yeah, Freedom is as fired up as here in this third quarter as Marinette was in the second quarter, and they're smelling blood right now.
55-27, Freedom with the lead with 4 minutes, 4 seconds left in this. I've said nightmare about 100 times now, it feels like, in this third quarter, but that's basically what it is.
And Coach Walters has said time and time again about his team learning to play a complete game, and obviously that's not the case here tonight.
Second down and 12, Weisgerber in motion. They give it to the up back. Not much doing there, maybe a yard for Connor Nelson. He has 40 yards on 8 carries. 3 minutes, 39 seconds left in the third quarter. That brings up a third down and 10 for the Marines.
Yeah, in this third quarter, all the action has been to one side of the field here.
Besides the punt, I don't think we were even on that side of the field.
That's the only time, and that wasn't.
He wasn't there long.
He wasn't there long, yeah, because he took it to about 40, maybe 50 yards down to the 2.
3 minutes, 16 seconds left in the third quarter. Third down and 10 for the Marines. Jonte Webb split left. In motion, Jagelski. They fire it over the middle. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it falls incomplete. It was a nice play call, but it got tipped right at the line.
Yeah, and those are dangerous. Fortunately, it wasn't the 5th turnover of the quarter, because once that ball gets tipped, it seems like more often than not, a defender comes down with it.
That'll bring up a punting situation for the Marines at their own 27-yard line. Fourth down and 10. They trail 55-27. The return man is back at his own 35-yard line. The snap almost goes over the head of Johnson, but he gets it away. Nice punt. Drives him back all the way to the 30-yard line. What a kick. That's where Freedom will take over. Marinette downs it at the 30-yard line. Beautiful punt there.
And it finally puts the pigskin on the other side of the field here.
About time.
Let's hope it stays here for a while.
Please. Help me out. First down and 10 at the 30-yard line. Their own 30-yard line. Freedom takes over. They're traveling left to right on your Sports Radio 570 radio dial. Splitting out to the right is Avery Van Stralen. He's covered by Jonte Webb. They're back in the I formation. Pitch to the right side. They have room, and they have a nice pickup, about 6 yards that time. Gonering again.
Yeah, who else? Isaac Gonering. Little toss out to him, and well, you get him in some space like that, and he is so tough to bring down. Got a good blend of speed, and he's got some power too.
He's tall too for a running back.
Yeah.
Second down and 3. He has 149 yards on 17 carries tonight and 6 touchdowns. Hard to believe. Here's a pitch. Gonering again. He's hitting the backfield. Can they get him down? He's fighting, and they do.
Well, it takes a few guys to bring him down. He almost escaped from that first would-be tackler, but couldn't see who was hanging on for dear life there, but waiting for his friends to join him, and they did.
Lost about 3 yards on that carry. Like I said, he has 146 yards. It feels like he has about 346 yards. Third down and 6 for Freedom. 1 minute, 47 seconds left in this third quarter. They fake the up back, rolls to the right. He's under pressure. He lets it go. He has a man. Beautiful 16-yard pickup there. Alex Gehring picks it up. 16-yard pickup for the Irish, and that is a first down.
Unofficially 10 first downs on the night for the Irish. And we talked about, in the pregame, we talked about their balanced attack, and it's really starting to surface now that Jaden, he went through some adversity in that first half, but pretty good-looking quarterback.
Definitely is. First down and 10 in Marinette territory at the 49-yard line. It's 55-27, Freedom. In motion, Dockstader. They give it to Gonering on a pitch, and he picks up another 7 yards, but he loses the ball. Marinette says they have it. Do they?
Well,
we wait to see.
We'll see if 7 or 8 defenders can be wrong.
All the purple is pointing that way, and the referees do too. Marinette takes over with 1 minute left in this third quarter.
Third turnover on the night for Freedom. Couple of fumbles also an interception.
Marinette takes over at their own 42-yard line. First down and 10. Exactly 1 minute left in the third quarter. They trail 55-27. Jonte Webb split right. We're waiting for the officials to blow the whistle.
And this third quarter can't end soon enough, can it?
It could have ended about 20 minutes ago for my taste. Dalton Weisgerber up the middle, nothing doing. Back to the line of scrimmage. Weisgerber, 22 yards on 6 carries tonight.
Yeah, total yards in this third quarter, man, the Marines not much.
They're going to give him a yard. We have
one of the Marines getting up. Is that? Let's see here. I don't want to speculate. Can't see the number.
Jagelski, I think.
It is Jagelski. I think you're right.
James Jagelski down on the play. We have a trainer out to look at him. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by North Motorsports, the area's only full-line dealer of Honda, Can-Am, Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, and Snapper outdoor products. From their friendly sales staff to their certified service technicians, they've got you covered. Visit North Motorsports at 3711 10th Street in Menominee or give them a call at 906-863-5592. That's 906-863-5592. Also, Kane Chevrolet driving the game to you as the #1 truck destination north of Green Bay. Kane Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, O'Connell, Marinette. James Jagelski is still down on the play, so we're going to take a quick break, let the trainers look at him, and we'll be back on Sports Radio 570.
Where can you go to get a bite to eat before or after the game? Dexter's. Dexter's in Menominee has enough seating for the whole team and a menu to fit everyone's taste and appetite. Or call ahead and take your order to go. Dexter's looks forward to seeing you this year. Good luck to all M&M Sports participants. Dexter's, located on 10th Avenue in Menominee. Check out their menu online at dextersrestaurantonline.com and like us on Facebook.
Find your next truck at Kane, the #1 truck destination north of Green Bay for 2015. From the most dependable full-size pickups on the road, Kane delivers Silverado. Or the most advanced pickup ever, Kane delivers Sierra. Right now, visit Kane in Marinette or O'Connell to enter the Chevrolet Packers Ultimate Fan Sweepstakes. Win a 2016 Chevrolet and other great prizes. Over 300 quality vehicles at KaneGM.com, O'Connell, and Marinette.
Welcome back. James Jagelski is taken off the field.
And good news, he's came off under his own power. He's limping a little bit, but it appears that he's going to be okay. Thank goodness for that.
Hipke goes in motion to the right side. They throw a screen backside. Nathan Paris has it, but he is met after a loss of about 4 yards.
Well, was that covered well? The Freedom Irish just staying home and not being fooled by a little misdirection on the pass. Trying to come to the backside, as you mentioned.
18 seconds left in the third quarter. Third down and 13 for the Marines. They trail 55-27. They're going to let this clock run out, and I do not blame them after the third quarter that was.
Hit by a sledgehammer in this third quarter.
At the end of the third quarter, Marinette 27, Freedom 55. We'll be right back on Sports Radio 570.
Hi, this is Paul, CEO of the Menominee County Federal Credit Union. We're proud to sponsor high school sports on Bay City Radio, and we encourage all of you to support high school athletics as well. We know there's no better way for our young people to learn the lessons of life than by competing in sports. The Menominee County Federal Credit Union, where you dream the dream, will help make it come true, with locations in Powers, Kearney, Stevenson, and Menominee. Persons living or working in Marinette and Menominee counties are eligible for membership.
Welcome back to Marinette Marines football, where we had a disastrous third quarter. Marinette was leading 27-21, but as we exit the third quarter and enter the fourth, we're now trailing 55-27.
Yeah, well, 4 turnovers by the Marines in that third quarter and giving up 34 points. Wow, man. And it unraveled quickly from the opening, second play from scrimmage in the third quarter. The Marines had a fumble, and then a few plays later, Freedom was in the end zone. Then 2 more fumbles, also an interception, and a long punt return, and that all equates to 5 touchdowns for Freedom. And all of a sudden, the route is on, and we didn't see this coming the way things went in the first half.
3rd down and 13 for the Marines at their own 40-yard line. They're now traveling left to right on your Sports Radio 570 radio dial. 2 split to the right, Jonte Webb, Nathan Paris. Here's the snap. Johnson back, rolls to his right, throws back across his body, and he has a man, but the ball falls short. Spencer Hipke had a step, but the ball fell just a little bit short, and we have another Marine down on the field. Is that Luke Johnson?
Yeah, he was hit, and as he was rolling to his right, he threw it in the opposite direction, as you mentioned, and he was actually airborne as he let the ball go, and he was in a position where he couldn't really absorb the hit the way that you'd like to, and he was already in the air, and then the defender nailed him, and Luke I think he just got the wind knocked out of him. Hopefully that's all it is.
As a quarterback, if you're up in the air, you're very vulnerable.
Yeah, he was. That's exactly. He was not in a good spot.
So the trainer is going to look at Luke Johnson. We just started the 4th quarter. Good news, he's up on his feet now.
Yeah, the 1-2 punch for Marinette with Luke Johnson and James Jagelski both going down here within the span of about 2 minutes. But fortunately, James was okay. It appears that he's okay, and now Luke is. I think he's got the wind knocked out of him. He's walking very slowly with the trainer to the Marinette sidelines.
So Matt Eldridge will come in to quarterback the Marines now.
And it's 4th down, so maybe end to kick it away.
Eldridge is a lefty, and he's only a sophomore. 6'3". But they'll punt first. 4th down and 13 from their own 40. Here's the snap. And the kick. It's a high kick. Fair catch called for. The ball drops. Marinette will down it at about the 32-yard line, and that's where Freedom will take over for their first possession of the 4th quarter, and they lead 55-27.
Hard to believe it. After this game, 2/3 of the season will be in the books, and we're going to close out the final third with a couple of away games. Denmark next week, and then Clintonville at home, and then at Luxembourg Casco. And Casco's been having a pretty good year, but Denmark and Clintonville, both games that you would think Marinette would be very competitive in and hopefully get W's, but we'll see. The whole thing is, though, taking the good out of this game, which is obviously what happened in the second, really in the first half, a good portion of the first half anyway, but particularly the second quarter. But the main thing is playing the 4 quarters. And Coach Walters has been saying that all season long, and that's true with any team. Got to play that complete game, especially when you go up against teams like this.
That's true, and also turnovers. Always, turnovers always come back to haunt you. In that 3rd quarter, there was just bunches of them.
Well, in the first half, Marinette was winning that turnover battle. They had 0, and they had forced 2 turnovers, and they were ahead 27-21 at halftime. But then 4 turnovers in that 3rd quarter. Now, Freedom did have 1, but didn't hurt them. So, but you lose 4-1 in the turnover battle in the 3rd quarter, and in the process give up 34 points, and one of those turnovers led right to a touchdown because it was a fumble on a punt return or kickoff return that was taken in for a score.
Tough to come back from something like that when you have that many turnovers.
Yeah, and against a good team, it's tough, more like probably impossible.
Impossible, yeah. 1 or 2 turnovers is one thing, but when you're dealing with that many.
And we had mentioned in the first half about what a clean game. They had a few penalties, but nothing that really hurt them too badly. But those turnovers, none in the first half, and then 4 in the 3rd quarter, and that'll be your undoing.
The Irish have the ball in the I formation, straight up the middle. Picks up about 3 yards.
And they just want to keep that clock rolling and get out of here with a W. And I'm sure the Freedom's coaching staff they'll have plenty to preach to their kids about heading into the game against Wrightstown next week, saying, hey, you can't overlook anybody.
That's right. Teaching lesson, definitely.
Yeah.
Brody Brazil on that carry.
That'll be the silver lining for Freedom. Well, actually, more than the silver lining because they're going to get the W.
Here's the snap. They pitch it to the left side. Pick up about 4 yards. Nice run there by Brody Brazil. He's in for Gonnering right now.
I thought we'd see more of that Brazil carrying the ball.
I did too.
We heard about their 1-2 punch, and it was mainly Gonnering, but Brazil getting a few carries now in the kind of, I guess, do I say mop-up duty to a certain degree?
So. It was more like the one punch.
Yeah.
First down and 10 from their own 42-yard line. Freedom has the ball. Here's the snap. Hand it to the up back. Brazil again. And again, he picks up 5 yards. That'll bring up second down and 5 for the Irish. 10 minutes, 34 seconds left in this ball game. They lead 55-27. They're taking their time, understandably, with this kind of a lead.
They're going to be inside of 10 minutes by the time this next play is done, and that's exactly what they want to do.
They hand it to the up back. Picks up about 2 yards. Not too much there. That time it was Tanner Brockman on the carry.
And the key thing for the Marines is to keep their heads up and regroup. I mean, after what could have been. I mean, we were all so jubilant at halftime. we were thinking upset. Not only us here in the press box here, you and I, but also the crowd below us.
Talk about range of emotions tonight.
Yeah.
Here's the snap. They pitch it out to Brazil on a pitch. He gets to the sticks and he has a first down. He now has 19 yards on 4 carries, all on this drive. It'll be first down and 10 from the Marinette 48-yard line. The Irish lead 55-27. What must be going through those players' heads? Hey, Kit, how excited they were at halftime, and then just that. I mean, you never see a third quarter like that.
You mentioned the range of emotions. That's exactly what it was here tonight.
Here's the snap. They fake it, roll out to the left, throws off his back foot. He had a man open. Colton Heenan had it, but he dropped it, so that ball falls incomplete.
Yeah, little low would have been kind of a tough catch, but incomplete, so 2nd and 10. But just running into a buzzsaw, and the way this game started, I mean, Freedom could not be stopped. And then all of a sudden things turned around in the second quarter. Marinette was up 27-21, and you're thinking, okay, can they sustain it? Unfortunately, it was not meant to be.
Second down and 10 from the Marinette 47-yard line. 9 minutes, 10 seconds left in this ball game. Freedom with the ball. Hand it off to Brazil. He has a hole. He's fighting for the first down, and I think he got it. Taken down by Jonte Webb right at the sticks.
Yeah, slammed down. Almost body slammed. But Brazil with a nice run.
I mean, what's the real story tonight? You know? I mean, Marinette's not as bad as that third quarter, and Freedom probably isn't as bad as their second quarter. So, I mean, is it somewhere in between? How close are these teams? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, well, Freedom is ranked, they're undefeated and ranked in the top 5 in the state, and they're awfully good. And Marinette is up and coming. They've been improving as the season has been progressing, and what a killer schedule for the first 6 games. I mean, they're going to have the chain gang come out here for a measurement here to see if that was a first down. But basically, I think what the bottom line is Freedom is awfully good, and Marinette is making strides, but they're not there yet. And they got some young players, obviously, who are getting some great experience here, and some really good senior leadership too. And that can't be underscored. I mean, or overlooked with Luke Johnson, just a tremendous leader. Jonte Webb, and really all the seniors on the team have been really doing a great job of keeping a team together. I mean, when you lose your first 4 games and then you finally get a win, I mean, a lot of teams could go in the wrong direction.
But they've definitely been going in the right direction. That third quarter, not so much, but the first half they played very well, and last week they played very well.
That was not a first down, by the way. 3rd and inches now for the Irish.
8 minutes, 55 seconds left in the ball game. Marinette trails 55-27. They just do a quarterback sneak. He gets hit hard, but he does have the first down.
And Freedom is having the drive that they wanted right now. They're just getting a nice, just 3-4 yards a crack and methodically moving down the field and taking time off of that clock.
First down and 10 from Marinette's 35-yard line. Freedom traveling right to left on your Sports Radio 570 radio dial. 8 minutes, 30 seconds left in this ball game. Here's the snap. They fake it to the up back, roll out to the right. Jaden has it, throws off the run. He has his man. Nice reception there, Brett Scheibel.
Yeah, Scheibel made a great catch. Yeah, going little out pattern towards the sidelines across the way towards Freedom's bench. And he had to go up and extend his arms to haul that pass in. That was not an easy catch at all. And then he got smucked after he got it, too.
Nice throw on the run there by Charles Jaden. Very nice.
Another first down, too.
First down and 10 at Marinette's 26-yard line. They trail 55-27. In the I formation, the Irish. Here's the snap. They give it to the up back. Barrels through, makes one man miss, picks up 12 yards. Nice run there by Tanner Brockman.
Yeah, I think that defense of Marinette just getting a little tired here, running out of gas here down the stretch, and after getting walloped, both offensively and defensively in that third quarter, the wind is out of the sails.
First down and 10 from the 12-yard line now. The Irish up to the ball. Split to the left is Colton Heenan. Everybody else in tight in the I formation. They hand it off straight up the middle again to Brockman. And again, he picks up about 5 yards. The clock is now at 7 minutes, 38 seconds left in the ball game.
Trying to check along the sidelines here. A couple of injuries from Marinette with Luke Johnson and James Jagelski, but just...
I see Jagelski sitting on the bench.
Looks like he got an ice pack on his right in the vicinity of his ankle, the way it looks.
Colton Heenan split to the left. Jaden under center. He pitches it to the left side. There's room. He's hit. Taken down after about a 4-yard pickup. That time the run was by Matthew Verhaslet.
And getting some different ball carriers into the game for Freedom.
6 minutes, 52 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Freedom 55, Marinette 27. Third down and 2 from the 5-yard line. Freedom looking to tack on another one. Colton Heenan to the right side this time. Matthew Verhaslet in the backfield. They give it to him right up the middle. He's trying to power through. He does, all the way to the end zone. And it is a touchdown. Another touchdown for Freedom. Matthew Verhaslet.
And the Irish over 60 in this game now. After being down 27-21 at halftime. Roaring back in the second half. Big time.
5-yard touchdown run by Matthew Verhaslet. We await the extra point. Schomer puts it up. And it's good. The score is now Freedom 63. Marinette, actually 62.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I stand corrected by myself.
Yeah, and it is the running clock now, which I never thought we'd see in the second half.
Definitely not. Freedom 62, Marinette 27. We'll be right back on Sports Radio 570.
Prestige Auto Body and Truck Repair has over 25 years of experience to make your repairs fast, easy, and worry-free. With around-the-clock towing, electronic estimating, early drop-off, pick-up, delivery, and the comfort of knowing Prestige Auto Body and Truck Repair is an iCar Gold Class shop, one of only 25 in the state, located on the corner of Highway 64 and 180 in Marinette. Call 715-732-4544. That's 715-732-4544 to get your estimate today. Prestige Auto Body and Truck Repair. They take the worry out of your collision repair.
Welcome back to Marinette Marines football. I wish I had some better news to report, but it's 62-27 Freedom.
A little shout out here to, I know he's not listening right now because he's on the sidelines, but Jody Korch for the Eagle Herald is Tom Kaiser, of course, retired from the Eagle Herald. He's along the sidelines. Good to see Tom.
Here's the kickoff. All the way to the 10-yard line. Marinette has it. They run to the right side. Cut it back in. Back outside. I think that was Dalton Weisgerber all the way up to the 30-yard line, and that's where Marinette will take over. First down and 10 at the 6:04 mark of the fourth quarter. Marinette trails 62-27.
Good to see Luke Johnson back out there after getting the wind knocked out of him earlier in this half. James Jagelski's still on the sidelines. He's got some ice that appears to be on his right ankle area, so hopefully he'll be okay as time goes on.
Fingers crossed. Here's the snap. Johnson back. He fires deep. He was looking for Paris, overshot him just a little bit. Incomplete. That'll bring up second down and 10 for the Marines at their own 30-yard line with 5 minutes, 24 seconds left in this ball game.
And with the clock rolling, even with the incompletion because of the running clock, 35-point lead exactly for the Irish.
Jonte Webb split left. Weisgerber gets the handoff off the left side. He bounces it outside, has a little bit of room, but it closes quickly. He picked up about 2 yards, and we have a flag right at the tail end of the play.
I'm not sure if there was a hold there or if the official saw something else. I didn't see a face mask, but appears to be in the vicinity of holding. After here we go. Let's hit the call. Illegal block in the back, and the Marines, and after quite a few penalties in the first half, has been, for the most part, penalty-free here in this second half.
That'll back up the Marines all the way to the 22-yard line. It's now second down and 18.
Yeah, 6 penalties for 45 yards for the Marines.
4 minutes, 10 seconds left in the ball game. Marinette trails 62-27. Here's the snap. Handed off to the right side. Nice run there. I think that might have been Adam Wall.
And I see where...
no, it was Spencer Hipke.
And Matt Eldridge was in for that play, a quarterback for the Marines. Luke Johnson did throw the first pass on this drive.
Hipke picked up about 4. Looks like they gave him 5, actually. That'll bring up third down and 13 at their own 27-yard line. 3 minutes, 31 seconds left in this ball game. Webb split to the left. In motion, Hipke. They give it to the up back. They faked it, actually. Nice fake there, and they tried to get it to Paris. Couldn't do it. Incomplete pass. That'll bring up fourth down and 13.
Yeah, the lefty Eldridge making his first pass attempt of the evening.
Fourth down for the Marines. Running clock, 3 minutes, 4 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Marinette led 27-21 at halftime, and now we stand at 62-27. Hard to believe.
Yeah, we were wondering if Marinette could keep things going, and we didn't think it would be like this. I mean, I don't think anybody did.
A barrage of turnovers did not help.
That was the undoing, plain and simple. No mystery here with this one. 4 turnovers all on your side of the field.
Exactly right. There's the punt. It hits at the 42-yard line, takes a Marines bounce all the way to the 36-yard line, it looks like, and that's where Freedom will take over. First down and 10 with 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in this ball game.
Yeah, if you have 4 turnovers on your side of the field against a mediocre team, it's not going to bode well for you, but against an undefeated, high-quality team like Freedom, you are asking for big-time trouble.
You're asking for it, and you're usually going to get it, too, and they got it all right. It's a lot of trouble to get yourself into with all those turnovers. 1 minute, 54 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
You got to give the Irish, obviously, a lot of credit because they got hit in the mouth in that second quarter big time by the Marines, but they bounced back like a top 10 team that they are.
They sure did. First and 10. Here's the snap. Handed off to the up back. He has room off the left side. Bounces away from one tackler. Keeps running. He picked up a good 5-6 yards. That was Matthew Verhaslett again. He's had a good couple runs here.
Yeah.
One for a touchdown.
A new quarterback in, number 3 has come in for the Freedom Irish.
Jacob Balthazar. 1 minute left in this ball game. Freedom 62, Marinette 27. Split to the right side. Mason Wise in the I formation, the Irish. Handed off, right up the middle for Haslett again. They have the first down. 35 seconds left in the game. They have the ball right at midfield. .25 seconds left.
And one more snap, and that will put this one to rest. Thank goodness, huh?
That's right. They're not even going to do that snap. And that'll do it for tonight. Marinette falls to Freedom 62-27. Kit and I will tally up some stats and be back with the post-game show on Sports Radio 570.
Looking for a credit union that truly cares about you and the community you live in? Then you ought to stop and see the folks at Bayshore Credit Union. Membership is open to anyone living or working in Marinette, Menominee, and Oconto counties. Whether it's everyday banking, a new auto loan, new mortgage, even a consolidation loan, they can help. And it's never too early to start establishing good credit. Bayshore Credit Union, located at 1514 Cleveland Avenue, Marinette. They're looking forward to meeting you.
Kim Barrett and all the staff of Tri-City Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine of Marinette are committed to get you back to your quality of life. Tri-City Physical Therapy has been in business for over 25 years and specialize in the treatment of shoulder, knee, and back, as well as general physical therapy. Let them help you overcome pain after an injury or disease. Tri-City Therapy and Sports can provide you with the most skilled and personalized rehabilitation treatment plan possible to help you get back on track. Tri-City Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine at 602 Wells Street in Marinette.
Bayside Motorsports and Cycle is your full-line service destination, servicing most makes and models of ATVs and motorcycles, from a simple tune-up and oil change to major engine overhauls. Their expanded service department will have you back on your machine fast. Bayside Motorsports and Cycle also specializes in motorcycle and ATV performance work to keep you a step above your competition. Ask about their service specials. Bayside Motorsports and Cycle in Green Bay or at BaysideMotorsports.com.
Where can you go to get a bite to eat before or after the game? Dexter's. Dexter's in Menominee has enough seating for the whole team and a menu to fit everyone's taste and appetite. Or call ahead and take your order to go. Dexter's looks forward to seeing you this year. Good luck to all M&M Sports participants. Dexter's, located on 10th Avenue in Menominee. Check out their menu online at dextersrestaurantonline.com and like us on Facebook.
Find your next truck at Kane, the #1 truck destination north of Green Bay for 2015. From the most dependable full-size pickups on the road, Kane delivers Silverado. Or the most advanced pickup ever, Kane delivers Sierra. Right now, visit Kane in Marinette or Oconto to enter the Chevrolet Packers Ultimate Fan Sweepstakes. Win a 2016 Chevrolet and other great prizes. Over 300 quality vehicles at KaneGM.com, Oconto, and Marinette.
Hi, this is Paul, CEO of the Menominee County Federal Credit Union. We're proud to sponsor high school sports on Bay City Radio, and we encourage all of you to support high school athletics as well. We know there's no better way for our young people to learn the lessons of life than by competing in sports. The Menominee County Federal Credit Union, where you dream the dream, will help make it come true, with locations in Powers, Kearney, Stevenson, and Menominee. Persons living or working in Marinette and Menominee counties are eligible for membership.
Prestige Auto Body and Truck Repair has over 25 years of experience to make your repairs fast, easy, and worry-free. With around-the-clock towing, electric estimating, early drop-off, pickup, delivery, and the comfort of knowing Prestige Auto Body and Truck Repair is an iCar Gold Class shop, one of only 25 in the state. Located on the corner of Highway 64 and 180 in Marinette. Call 715-732-4544. That's 715-732-4544 to get your estimate today. Prestige Auto Body and Truck Repair. They take the worry out of your collision repair.
Welcome back to Marinette Marines football. Marinette falls to Freedom tonight, 62-27. We'll go through some scoring summaries right now. In the first quarter, Freedom started the scoring at the 11-18 mark. A 6-yard touchdown run by Isaac Gonering. The extra point was good, and it was 7-0. At the 7:49 mark, Gonering struck again from 5 yards out. The extra point was good, and it was 14-0. Marinette came right back about a minute and a half later at the 6:03 mark. A 47-yard touchdown pass from Luke Johnson to James Jagelski. The extra point was good, and it was 14-7. 4 minutes later at the 2:53 mark, Freedom answered back again. 30-yard touchdown run. Isaac Gonering, that man, and 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. The extra point was good, and at the end of one, Freedom led 21-7. Marinette came right back in the second quarter and had a huge quarter. At the 8:25 mark, 24-yard touchdown pass from Luke Johnson to Jonte Webb. The extra point was good, and it was 21. Actually, it was no good. It was 21-13. At the 5:32 mark, we had a 57-yard touchdown run by James Jagelski. They tried for the 2-point conversion and got it. Luke Johnson to Jonte Webb. The score was now tied up, 21-21. With 1 minute left in the first half, we had a 11-yard touchdown pass from Luke Johnson to Nathan Paris. The extra point was no good, and at the end of the first half, Marinette was upsetting the number 5 ranked team, Freedom, 27-21, and everything was good at that point.
Yeah, it was not meant to be, as you're about to find out here if you just tuned in. That third quarter was disastrous with capital letters.
You got that right. And it all started at the 9:36 mark. Most of these scores were off turnovers, interception, fumbles, and then also a big punt return.
Yeah, 4 turnovers and a big punt return lead to 5 touchdowns in that third quarter for the Irish.
And it started at the 9:36 mark. 11-yard touchdown run by Isaac Gonering. The extra point was good, and it was 28-27. At the 8:22 mark, we had a 29-yard touchdown run by Isaac Gonering. Again, the extra point was no good, 34-27. At the 7:19 mark, it seems to be coming every minute. We have another score in the third quarter. A 19-yard touchdown pass from Charles Jaden to Brady Brazil. The extra point was good. It was 41-27. At the 4:42 mark, we had a 4-yard touchdown run by Isaac Gonering. Again, an extra point was good. It was now 48-27. At the 4:31 mark, 11 seconds later, we had a fumble return for a touchdown. The extra point was good. And the score was 55-27 after the end of 3, when the score was 27-21, Marinette entering the third quarter. 5 touchdowns for Freedom in the third quarter, and that was too much to overcome for the Marines. In the fourth quarter, at the 6:18 mark, Freedom tacked on one more. Matthew Verhaslet had a 5-yard touchdown run. The extra point was good, and the score was 62-27, and that's where the score ended.
Yeah.
Freedom 62, Marinette 27.
I see Coach Walters is making his way up here, but think about this. Freedom had 55 of their 62 points in 2 quarters, in the first and the third quarter combined.
That's right.
Crazy. Okay, the post-game show continues on here on Sports Radio 570. We have some individual numbers that we'll be going through here in just a little bit, as we'll have Eric do that for you.
I do want to mention the post-game show is being brought to you by North Motorsports, the area's only full-line dealer of Honda, Can-Am, Ski-Doo, Sea-Doo, Snapper, outdoor products. From their friendly sales staff to their certified service technicians, they've got you covered. Visit North Motorsports at 3711 10th Street in Menominee, or give them a call at 906-863-5592. Also, Kane Chevrolet, driving the game to you, is the #1 truck destination north of Green Bay. Kane Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, O'Connell, and Marinette.
And our post-game show continues on, joined here in the press box by Marinette head coach Andy Walters. And boy, talk about a range of emotions. This was an exhausting night here at Higley Stadium. I imagine that's probably how you're feeling right now.
Sure is. You know, to be honest with you, I'm speechless right now.
Yeah, 55 or actually 62-27, but it appeared there was perhaps an upset in the making, and your team in that second quarter, first of all, down 21-7, you come back and grab the lead, and doing everything right on both sides of the ball. And I think probably the worst thing that happened here tonight was a thing called halftime.
Well, a thing called momentum. We came out after halftime, and we didn't give ourselves a chance to do the things that we were doing in the first half with the field position and the turnovers, to start the second half there. It didn't give us the opportunities that we were giving ourselves in the first half. So we were giving our turn the ball over, and our defense had their back to the wall, and we just didn't do a very good job defensively of sudden change and somehow finding a way to get a stop. And,
Yeah, things just snowballed, like you said, with those turnovers, and one right after the other, and 4 turnovers in that third quarter, and then plus they had that long punt return as well thrown in there, so it all led to a huge quarter for Freedom. That really was a difference here in this contest as they took command in the third quarter. Now, things that your team, obviously the first half, you got to just be overjoyed with what happened in that first half. And I know you've been preaching all along about playing, your team needs to play 4 quarters, and it's really no consolation when you end up on a lopsided end of a score. But that being said, some young players making some development here, and but in that first half, you really had Freedom. They knew they were in a game, and both offensively and also defensively, you really had them frustrated. What was the key there?
Execution and confidence. We got some things going in the first half, and our kids were honestly, Kit. The difference between the first half and the second half was the C word, confidence. And our kids. Things were going our way. Our kids were making plays. They're executing, and they were playing with confidence. They felt like they couldn't be stopped, and defensively, they felt like they can't move the ball on us, and we're executing. And then second half we had some adversity hit. We just didn't handle it. We didn't handle the adversity, and our confidence went downhill. And then as far as what they were doing offensively and things like that, wasn't anything that we should have had trouble stopping. It's just we lost our mojo.
I know that in your interview with Eric for the pregame show, you had mentioned about confidence, and that really was built in the last game against O'Connell Falls, but it's kind of been growing all season because that's going to happen hopefully as the team progresses and the young players get better. And any sporting event, football, you name it, so much of it is mental, and you mentioned the confidence part of it. And now the key is to regroup and try to get that confidence back. And I imagine you had some faith in your young men here.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing that you can take away, look at the first half, and that's what we're capable of doing. If we can play like that, the rest of the season, good things are going to happen for us.
Yeah, and great play calling. There were receivers that were wide open, and obviously Luke Johnson hitting them, but the play calling was you really had them on their heels.
Yeah, but it's more of the kids' execution than it is the play calling. It's not about the X's and O's. It's how well your kids are executing the game plan. Yes, we saw some things that we could take advantage of, but the kids, are the ones that made the plays. So it's really the kids' execution.
And now trying to regroup. You got the final third of the season coming up, and you got just a brutal schedule to begin with, playing teams all over the place that were in the top 10 and in 2 different states, and when you count Menominee as well. So things can only hopefully get easier. But you got Denmark, you got Clintonville, and also Luxembourg Casco. What are your goals heading into the final third of the season?
Well, playoffs start for us right now. If we win out, we're eligible for playoffs. If we lose another game, then we're no longer eligible. But we can't look past this next game. I really want for this football team to be able to put 4 quarters of football together. And we have not done that this year yet. Last week, yeah, we had a big win, but wasn't very happy with our first quarter. The way we started, and that needs to be our goal. That needs to be our focus, is to put 4 good quarters of football together, solid quarters of football together. There's going to be mistakes, the kids, the high school kids, but at this point in the season, we should be eliminating those mistakes. All the missed tackles and those types of things just are unacceptable right now.
Yeah, and with a blend of leadership you have from the seniors and some of the underclassmen who have been coming on pretty strong this year, and I think your team's got it in them, and time will tell, and hopefully it'll begin next Friday.
Yep, you bet.
Okay, Coach, I appreciate the time.
Okay, thank you.
Andy Walters, the head man for the Marinette Marines, joining us here on the post-game show here at Higley Stadium. Again, on Parents' Night, the Marines up at halftime, 27-21, but then the roof caved in that second half, unfortunately, for Marinette, and Freedom ends up winning big, 62-27. I know you got some more numbers you want to throw at us.
I sure do. Marinette tonight had 186 yards rushing and 161 yards passing.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, most of those were in the first half.
Yeah, that's right. It looks like they only had 20, 30 yards in the second half total offense, but they didn't have the ball that much because of all the turnovers. James Jagelski had 14 carries, 87 yards, and 1 touchdown. Dalton Weisgerber, 6 carries, 22 yards. Connor Nelson, 8 carries, 40 yards. And Luke Johnson had 1 carry for 33 yards. Luke Johnson tonight passing was 11 of 21, 165, and 2 touchdowns. Jonte Webb, 1 reception, 24 yards, and a touchdown. Nathan Paris had 3 receptions, 32 yards, and 1 touchdown. And James Jagelski had 2 receptions, 73 yards, and 1 touchdown. Connor Nelson, 2 receptions, 11 yards. For the victorious Freedom Irish, Isaac Gonering was the big star tonight. 19 carries, 153 yards, 6 big touchdowns. Brady Brazil had 5 carries, 29 yards. Seth Dockstader, the wide receiver, had 3 carries, 15 yards. Alex Gehring, 1 carry, 11 yards. Brett Scheibel, 1 carry, 12 yards. And Tanner Brockman, 3 carries, 19 yards. Passing tonight, Charles Jaden was 9 of 17, 179, and 1 touchdown. They had 240 yards rushing and 179 yards passing. Seth Dockstader had 3 receptions, 66 yards. Avery Van Stralen had 1 reception for 6 yards, and Colton Heenan had 1 reception for 28 yards. Brady Brazil had 1 reception, 19 yards, and Tanner Brockman had 1 reception, 16 yards, and 1 touchdown. And that is how this game ended. Like the coach said, kind of speechless right now. Your emotions went from so high after that second quarter to you just didn't even know what happened in that third quarter. It happened all so fast. They had all those turnovers, all those touchdowns, and when you looked up, the score was out of hand, and there was still 5 minutes left in the third quarter yet.
Yeah, there was like an avalanche all of a sudden occurred, and like you said, the emotion's so high. Marinette with that lead at halftime, and you're thinking, okay, on the verge of potential upset, and at least that could be in the cards. And it was going to be a very exciting second half, but anything but, because Freedom all of a sudden just came on like gangbusters. And just really quickly, some other stats: 15 first downs for Freedom, 8 for Marinette, and penalties. Marinette penalized 6 times for 45 yards, and Freedom 4 times for 55 yards. And Freedom had 4 penalties and 2 turnovers in the first half, and they were down by 6. Second half, they had 0 penalties. They had 1 fumble, but it didn't hurt them at all, obviously. And all of a sudden, they end up winning in a rout.
Well, that will do it from here. Marinette falls to Freedom 62-27. Marinette is now 1-5 on the season, and Freedom goes to 6-0. That'll do it. For Kit Donaldson, I'm Eric Bergstrom. We'll be back at it again next week from Denmark. Have a great night. Thank you for listening.
Marinette Marines High School sports broadcasts are brought to you by North Honda Motorsports, Bayshore Credit Union, Riverside Auto, Tri-City Physical Therapy, Menominee County Federal Credit Union, Prestige Auto Body, Peshtigo National Bank, Dexter's, Kane Chevrolet Buick GMC, Bayside Motorsports, and PCM Credit Union.